It says live for me.
So I got the setting it up and we're live.
All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another Not Ready for Quarantine Players reading. Tonight, we are very excited to be presenting Knives Out, which I think is something we've been trying to plan for a while, right? Yeah, and it finally all came to fruition just in time for Thanksgiving. Yay! Or first feast of Christmas, as I like to call it. So this reading we are supporting, and somebody please correct me if I pronounce this wrong, okay? Cahokia Mounds. Cahokia Mounds. So any money that we raise tonight goes directly to their fund drive. So the remains of the most sophisticated prehistoric native civilization north of Mexico are preserved at the Cahokia Mounds State Historic Site. And it's about 2,200 acre tract, and it is the archaeological remnants of the central section of the ancient settlement today known as Cahokia. The Mounds Museum Society is a not-for-profit organization founded in 1976, and their mission is to promote for public benefit the educational and scientific aspects of the Cahokia Mounds State Historic Site and associated archaeological sphere, and to support activities that are calculated to preserve, develop, or interpret Cahokia mounds. So in honor of Thanksgiving, we are giving back to the indigenous. And so you will be able to find on our poster or on a link on our Facebook page where you can go. You can also go to cahokiamounds.org and click on their support link. It is CAHOKIA mounds.org. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to introduce our amazing cast tonight, and then we will get started. Narrating this giant feat for us is going to be Ginger. And then playing Benoit Blanc, we have Luke. Marta Cabrera will be played by Raya tonight. And Ransom Drisdale will be played by Drew. Okay. Also, Cooper Wagner. Michelle, will be playing Linda Drysdale, plus some others. Dad, Sean, is back as my husband, Richard. Also with a few surprise side parts. Paul. Hello, Paul.
Hi.
It's playing Walt Thromby and Mr. Is it Profrock? Profrock? That's how we're pronouncing it. We're introducing new cast member Robert tonight, everybody, who is filling in and will be playing Joni and Mama Cabrera. Kenna. Hello, Kenna, is going to be playing Meg Thromby. I can't even. Thromby. Alice Cabrera and Donna Thromby. Danny will be playing Harlan, and Alan Stevens and Dan will be our Lieutenant Elliot, and Jacob. We are very excited. Stay tuned for some laughs, definitely some mistakes somewhere along the line, some mutes, and maybe a few surprise nutcakes along the way. So, Ginger, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I tried to put some in there for you, but if, the mood strike, everybody gets one, I always say. All right. Exterior Thromby Estate Manor House, dawn. The grounds of a New England manor, pre-dawn misty. But now we're pre-dawn. Okay, anyway. Interior manor, pantry, all those rooms inside of the manor. Unlit and still, Gothic with a theme of antique games, arcane puzzles, and decorative weapons. First floor, a drawing room, living room, kitchen. The detritus of a party, gray champagne flute. Interior, Thromby Estate, second floor. Still dawn. Following a housekeeper named Fran, carrying a tray of coffee up a flight of stairs. Second floor, a hallway, doors all closed. The house is not woken up, and Fran steps lightly up a much narrower, creaky flight of steps, steep stairs. Interior, Thromby Estate, third floor mansion, third floor master bedroom, Still dawn. The third floor, the master bedroom suite.
Morning, Mr. Thromby.
But the bed is empty, unplugged in. A robe is thrown across it. Fran heads out onto the landing and up an even narrower half flight of steps, which lead up to a single door.
Mr. Thromby, you up there? Mr. Thromby, I'm coming in.
Interior, Harlan Thromby's study at dawn again. A cramped attic study, every shelf crammed with curios. The door swings open and Fran sees Harlan Thromby, himself, 85 years old, flung across the white leather daybed. Rope split, Fran drenched in blood, very much dead. Fran's tray slipped out of her hand for a second.
Shit.
Cut to the title card on black. Then to interior, Marta's bedroom in the morning. Marta Cabrera wakes up with a cry. Plain, modern, and cramped, Marta, in her late 20s, takes a moment to catch her breath and opens the window. Exterior South Boston housing project in the morning. A tiny window in a cheap apartment building opens, and Marta's face appears breathing deep. Super, 1 week after Harlan Thromby's demise. Interior Cabrera kitchen in the morning. Marta sits in front of the laptop. Her mom is at the table with her. Her sister Alice watches CSI on an iPad on the countertop. Murder-related dialogue from a show. Marta scrolls through a job site, tired, eyes dead. Her mom watches concerned.
Alice, turn that off now.
Why? It's almost over.
Now,
Like, they're finding out who did it. And the Wi-Fi sucks in my room, so
turn
it
it
doesn't
off
play.
now.
It's like 2 minutes left, but there isn't even anything playing on
Alice,
it.
off.
It's just like they're normal TV. It's just like they're talking.
They're talking about murder.
Okay, God, whatever. Okay, whatever.
Your sister just had a friend she loves slit his throat open. She doesn't need to be hearing that right now. Let's be sensitive.
Mom standing yelling. Alice slams the iPad cover closed. Marta puts her head into her hand, looks at her mom, who looks back at her with protective sympathy. Marta starts laughing at the absurdity of it, but the laugh turns into crying.
Alice, you can keep watching your show. It's all right.
No, I guess you did it anyway. I'm sorry, Marta.
Alice hugs her sister. Marta's phone rings, and it's Walt Thromby.
It's Harlan's son. Hi, Walt. Uh-huh.
Her face shifts in confusion.
What?
Exterior private road in the late morning. A long, narrow private road leading to the Thromby estate. Marta's shitty subcompact car buzzes by towards the house. Exterior Thromby estate front drive. Double cars, including a police cruiser, with a few uniformed officers by it. Marta pulls up. An officer eyes her, approaches.
That's me. Hey, excuse me, ma'am. Are you with the help?
Hey. Oh, I bet.
Oh, sorry. Meg, Thromby's college-age granddaughter, trots out.
Hey, her name is Marta. She was Granddad's nurse. She's with us. The help?
It's okay. Sorry.
No, it's not. What the hell?
They hug and are both instantly crying. They laugh.
Not very good. Alone. Lots of just this. And not knowing what to do next.
Anything you need. You're part of this family, Marta.
Thank you.
Interior foyer. Thromby's eldest daughter, Linda, opens the door for Marta.
How you doing, kiddo?
Linda is 60-ish, well put together, sharp and steely-eyed. She dresses and speaks with just a little more sharpness than any situation she's in requires.
Hi, Linda. How are you?
The funeral helped, I guess. Just seeing him. I thought you should have been there. I was outvoted.
Linda's husband, Richard, walks in on the phone. Same age as Linda, gruff and confident, will put his feet up on anything.
not the cops. I don't know. All right, fine. Don't come. Get arrested. Die on your own ass. Die up your own ass. All I care. He's not coming. Ransom, little shit. Missed the funeral.
State Trooper Wagner, fresh-faced and in his 30s, pokes his head through the door.
Excuse me, we're ready for you now. We'd like to see you one at a time, please.
All right, I'll go first. I'm assuming this will all be wrapped up before the memorial tonight.
We'll do our best, ma'am.
Linda exits with Wagner, leaving Richard and Marta.
So, how you doing, kiddo?
Interior library. Mystery and horror memorabilia scattered on the shelves. Linda sits opposite three men. Lieutenant Elliot in his 30s, in a working suit, very good at his job. The young Trooper Wagner stands behind him. Sitting back behind both of them, almost blending into the background, is a slight man in a linen suit, legs and arms fold sharply like a paper crane, silent and listening.
We're just going to reintroduce ourselves as a formality. I'm Detective Lieutenant Elliot. This is Trooper Wagner. Now, I'm going to record, just makes it easier. All right, we're with Linda Drysdale, née Thrombey, Harlan Thrombey's eldest daughter, in discussing the events the night of his demise 1 week ago, November 8th.
We're sorry for your loss.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Elliot checks his notes.
So, we understand that that night the family had gathered to celebrate your father's 85th birthday.
Yes.
How was that?
The party, pre my dad's death, it was great.
Interior living room, night of the party flashback. Warmly lit, classic rock playing, food laid out. Linda and Richard mingle happily with the rest of the family, who will meet shortly.
Did anyone besides the family show face?
There was Fran, the housekeeper, Marta, Harlan's caregiver, good girl, hard worker, families from Ecuador, and Juanetta, great Nana, Harlan's mom.
At the snack table, wearing a dozen coats, a woman who might be 300 years old, she pounds down chips and dip like a machine.
His mom? How old is she?
We have no idea.
Okay, your son Ransom, was he there as well?
Yes, but he left early.
Ransom Drysdale, roguishly handsome in his early 30s, breezes out the side door, past Great Nana.
Ransom? Are you leaving?
Interior library. The strange man in the linen suit taps the piano key as if reminding him to ask something.
Right. Did all three of you show up at around the same time?
No. Richard came early to help the caterers set up.
She raises a questioning finger to ask about the man, but...
Okay, and you and your husband Richard work for a real estate firm in Boston?
It's my company.
Sorry? Right.
I built my business from the ground up.
Gaslight gatekeep girl boss. Just like your dad. You two were very close?
We had our own secret way of communicating. You had to find that with my dad. You had to play a game. You had to find a game to play with him. If you did that and played by his rules.
Cut to Richard in the chair Linda was in, giving his statement. Sean.
He said that his Zoom is crashing.
Oh,
No.
Crisis.
does anybody want to just take over Richard for now? Paul could, because I don't think they come in for a little bit. Sorry, Paul.
The panic that just happened.
I know, I'm sorry.
Welcome to your first time.
Right. Everyone is their dad, right?
I don't know, do they?
Very much not. Don't know why I said that, but Linda does.
Interior living room, night of the party. Harlan Thromby surrounded by his family, Richard and Linda flanking him. A birthday cake with candles, all smiles.
Harlan started with a rusty Smith Corona, built himself into one of those best-selling mystery writers of all time.
Interior library.
Seems like all his kids are self-made overachievers.
Sure?
Richard makes a sure face.
Sure.
Oh crap, here's Walt. Cut to Walt Thromby. My bad. COVID brain. Walt Thromby now sits in the questioning chair, late 40s, softly obsequious, in a sweater and loafers. His leg is in a cast.
For the record, I'm speaking to Walt Thromby, Harlan Thromby's youngest son. So you run your father's publishing company.
Yeah, it's the family publishing company. Dad trusts me to run it. 30 languages, over 80 million copies sold, a real legacy. You guys fans?
I don't do much
Big.
fiction.
His plot's like something like 1,000 Knives with the, well, I don't want to spoil it, but like the cow and the shotgun, like where do you come up with that?
Dad said the plot just popped into his head fully formed. That was the easy part for him.
Tap from the linen suit man's finger.
You live in town, right? You guys probably arrived at around the same time?
Walt looks at linen suit, groaned.
We all got here around 8.
Interior living room, night of the party. Walt laughing and mingling with his nervous wife, Donna.
My wife, Donna. He's my rock.
Richard backs into Donna, who yelps in fear and throws her martini in the air. Richard jumps, but Walt doesn't even register it.
Jesus, Donna. You all right?
And my son, Jacob. He's 16, very politically active.
His angry-looking son, Jacob, who is always on his phone. Interior library. Quick cuts, each in the chair.
The boy's
literally a Nazi.
He's an alt-right troll dipshit.
It's not you anymore.
Sorry, that was our fault, Paul.
I was willing to have a conversation.
That is you.
Yeah, now it's you.
Oh god. Kids today. Yeah, amazing.
So the night went well?
Interior living room, night of the party. The exact same moment we saw with Richard and Linda of Harlan in front of the birthday cake. But now it's Walt, Donna, and Jacob next to Harlan.
I mean, we're all gutted, but I'm happy we got the night with him, to be by his side, to think about our books and what we've accomplished with them. It's like I can still feel his hand on my upper shoulder.
Interior library.
Passing the torch.
Cut to Joni Thromby in the chair, a striking woman, tall, boho chic, in chunky jewelry and a flowy dress.
So we are with Joni Thromby, Harlan Thromby's daughter-in-law?
I was married to his son, Neil. We had one daughter, Meg. Then Neil passed on 15 years ago.
And you remain close to the Thrombys.
Interior living room, night of the party. Joni dances with various members, free and flowing.
Oh, they're my family. I feel simultaneously freed by and supported by them. That balance of opposites is a nugget of flam.
Interior library, present.
Sorry, the nugget of...
Flam.
Ah, yeah, Flam, right, your skincare company, sorry.
I forgive you. Yes, it's skincare, but it promotes a total lifestyle. Self-sufficiency with an acknowledgement of human need. That's Flam. But it's also Harlan. He got me and Meg through some tough times.
Meg in the chair.
Granddad gives my mom a yearly allowance, and he's never missed writing a tuition payment to my schools. He's genuinely a selfless man.
You left his party early?
To see some friends at Smith.
Interior living room, night of the party. Meg trots out, Linda, pissed, to Richard so Joni can hear.
You know, Dad's paying for her crypto-Marxist, post-deconstructional, feminist poetry theory surprise nutcake major. She could have stuck around for the cake.
The surprise nutcake. Interior library.
I think Linda was upset, but Harlan understood.
Tap.
Right. You two arrived together to the party at the same time?
Joni looks at the linen suit man.
If I could pause, because who is that guy? And why are we doing all of this again?
Just some follow-up questions, just being thorough in order to determine the manner of death.
Cut back to Walt in the chair. Reggie,
So,
relax.
by manner of death, you mean if us killed him, one of his family?
None of us think that. This is pro forma, all of it.
Cut to Richard in the chair. He doesn't buy it.
Okay. So who the fuck is that?
He points at linen suit. Elliot takes a breath.
This is Benoit Blanc.
Benoit Blanc?
Yes, Mr. Blanc is a private investigator of great renown.
Joni in the chair.
Wait a minute. I read a tweet about you I read a tweet about a New Yorker article about you. The last of the gentlemen sleuths? You solved that case with the tennis champ. You're famous.
Mr. Blanc is not with the police department. He is not officially involved with the case, but has offered to consult. I happily obliged. I can vouch for him.
Linda in the chair.
Mr. Blanc, I know who you are. I read your New Yorker profile. It was delightful. I just buried my 85-year-old father who committed suicide. Why are you here?
Elliot and Wagner turn to back to Blanc, who leans forward slightly and speaks in the gentlest southern lilt you have ever heard in your life.
I am here at the behest of a client.
Who?
I cannot say, but let me assure you this. My presence will be ornamental. You will find me a respectful, quiet, passive observer of the truth.
Elliot and Wagner turn nervously back to Linda. She doesn't look thrilled. Cut to Richard.
Fine. Are we getting there?
Nearly. Harlan's nurse. She was at the party in a professional capacity.
Blanc begins to idly playing with a silver dollar.
Marta?
Interior living room night of the party. The family is engaged in an animated discussion. Marta standing on the outskirts.
Yes. Harlan hired her to be around, take care of whatever medical needs pop up, but really she's like part of the family.
Richard beckons with his cake, calls Marta into the discussion, into the circle of the family.
Good kid. Been a good friend to Harlan. Her family's from Paraguay. Linda really likes her work ethic.
Interior library.
Immigrants. We get the job done. From Hamilton.
Wagner gives him a smile to show him he got the reference.
Oh, Hamilton.
I saw it at the public.
Cut to Linda back in the chair.
I just and then I'll recede, but as a self-made man myself, I have to express my admiration for how you followed in your father's footsteps.
Thank you.
Just marvelous. The whole family, too. Joni with her things, Walt with his publishing empire.
Well,
Blanc pauses, doesn't push anything, just waits a moment.
yes, I mean, okay. He's done well with what Dad's given him. Wait. Not like it matters, but he was sort of adrift, and then Dad gave him the job, but really Dad hands him a book twice a year, and Walt publishes it? I mean, it's not the same thing.
Oh, but surely Walt runs the merchandising, adaptations, film and television rights.
Linda squints, narrowing her eyes on Blanc. Softly.
Are you baiting me, detective? You know, he doesn't... You know, you think I'm dumb enough to be baited to talking about family business? Into shit-talking my brother in front of a detective and a state trooper?
Richard in the chair.
Walt doesn't run shit. There are no film or TV rights. Harlan's never allowed any adaptation of his books. Hates the idea.
No.
Oh, yeah. drives Walt nuts because that's where the real money's at. If he gets a little Irish courage in him, he'll get into it with Harlan.
Did he get into it at the party?
Oh my God.
Interior living room, night of the party. Walt, with a drink in his hand, has cornered Harlan. Richard watches across the room as Walt goes from arguing to pleading.
He wouldn't leave him alone, poor guy. Harlan had to give him the hook.
Sorry, my dog can't calm her tits. Harlan had enough. He takes Walt's arm and leads him into the drawing room for a private talk.
I didn't hear what he said, but he must have really handed him his lunch. Walt was like a wounded puppy the rest of the night.
Sorry. Interior library. Walt in the chair, indignant.
What? Richard said what?
I'm just trying to get an accurate impression.
No, we didn't get into it.
Harlan took you aside at the party when you returned your chastened. What did Harlan say to you?
Walt starts to open his mouth and hesitates. Off his frightened face, we flash back to interior drawing room, night of the party. Walt, drunk, Harlan guiding him firmly into the shadows.
The Netflix guys, their business affairs guys sent me over something hard numbers this time, and I think this is the window. It's not going to like last time and should just look at these numbers.
Wait.
Dad, you put me in charge of the books. Let me be in charge. Let me do this, please.
They're not our books, son. They're my books. And this is not how I wanted to have this conversation, but you're right. It is unfair of me to keep you tethered to something that isn't yours to control.
What?
I've done you a grave disservice all these years. I've kept you from building something of your own, something that's yours. You're not going to run the publishing house anymore. You are free of it.
Dad, are you firing me?
We'll talk about details tomorrow, but my mind's made up. Good boy.
Harlan pats his face, then leaves him shell-shocked. Interior library. Back to Walt's hesitating face. The briefest of moments has passed. Walt lies.
We had a business discussion about ebooks. Jesus, it was nothing. You want to talk about an argument? Hell, Ransom had an argument with him.
Ransom? Richard and Linda's son?
Look, we love Ransom. He's a good kid. We love him.
But
he's always been the black sheep of the family, and I'm not. I keep stuff like this in the family. But with Ransom, he's never had a job, but Dad, for some unknown reason, always supported him. They've got this love-hate bond. They fight, but that night, they had a blowout.
About what?
Interior living room, night at the party. The family having a conversation, everyone but Harlan, Jacob, and Ransom. It grinds to a halt as though the door to Harlan's study indistinct shouting booms.
We couldn't make it out, but it was huge, and it was strange they went into another room to do it. They usually love stoking up drama in front of the whole family.
Ransom bursts out of the doors and storms out of the party past Great Nana.
Ransom, are you leaving?
Interior library. Richard in the chair.
Well, speaking of getting into it, you were at the house earlier to help the caterer set up. Did you converse with Harlan at that time?
He was there. We must have spoke.
In his study?
I don't think so.
You see, I spoke with the caterer this morning. She didn't see you helping her staff, but she did hear Harlan in a screaming match with someone that afternoon in his study.
Screaming match? No. Journey was here too. She was early. Maybe it was her. Ask her.
These were two male voices.
Interior hallway, day of the party. A caterer walks through with a platter, pauses, hears shouting through the wall.
Harlan shouted the phrase,
"You tell her or I will."
Interior library.
"You tell her or I will." Bells ringing.
For just a split second, Richard considers what he is going to say. In the second, we flash back to interior small study, day of the party. Harlan showing Richard photos of a laptop, long lens photos of Richard kissing a woman who is not Linda. Richard glares at it. Harlan turns an old baseball over in his hands.
That's none of your business, Harlan. Stay out of my marriage.
Harlan holds up a sealed small envelope with flowery embroidery, L written on the front.
I know my daughter. She'd want to know. I put it all in this letter to her, and tomorrow she gets it.
I'm warning you once. Don't do this like hell.
She deserves to know, and you're going to tell her.
Harlan slams the baseball down on his desk.
You tell her, or I will.
Interior library. Cut to Richard. He grins, snaps his fingers.
Yes, I know. So Harlan decided to finally put his mom in a nursing home, which Linda always opposed. And I was going to wait till we were back home in Boston to tell her, so there wouldn't be a whole scene. But Harlan wanted me to tell her then. That was it. Sorry. Forgot.
Joni in the chair.
The house?
Early. Richard said you were there.
I was at the house early.
To see Harlan?
To see Harlan, yes.
Joni stops, smelling something in the air. She's about to ask about it, but...
What were you seeing Harlan about?
It was just a mix-up with the payments for Meg's tuition.
I'm sorry, Press, but what kind of mix-up?
Joni hesitates, and we flash back to interior small study, day of the party. Harlan at his desk, toying with the same old baseball. This is a thing he does at his desk. Joni standing, arms crossed.
The school hasn't gotten the check yet. I don't know why Alan didn't mail it.
Alan didn't mail it because he caught a discrepancy. Alan's office has been wiring tuition directly to the school, as per your request. But Phyllis's office that handles your yearly allowance has been wiring the tuition money directly to you as well. As per your request. You've been double dipping Meg's tuition, stealing from me. $100,000 a year for the past 4 years.
Harlan shows Joni a letter from his business manager with transaction receipts attached.
Harlan, I don't know how this mix-up happened, but...
Oh, shit. Harlan opens his ledger, handwrites a check.
I'm writing this tuition check, and then that is the last money you or Meg will ever get.
Please, you don't understand.
I know it'll hurt, but it's for the best.
Joni's speechless, her face frozen. Harlan puts the baseball down and detaches the check. I saw it detaches her cheek and holds it out to her.
That would have been a very interesting movie.
Yeah.
Especially with the line like, my mind's made up.
Interior library. Back to Joni. She shakes her head.
Just a money wiring issue with the office at the school. So I had to ask Harlan to cut a check for this semester. No big deal.
Why don't we take a breather?
Interior foyer day. Joni comes out into the foyer from the library, obviously rattled. She pulls it together quick when Linda comes down the stairs.
Joni, you haven't seen Richard, have you?
No, I was just in the... No.
Interior small study.
Richard!
Alone, Richard waits very still for Linda's footsteps to walk away. I just saw the dog pop in. It was cracking me up. Then, when he knows she's not coming in, he furtively rifles through the desk drawers, finding various ridiculous ephemera. He finds a small locked drawer, jimmies it open with a letter opener. Inside, the small pink envelope Harlan threatened him with in his flashback. He rips it open, pulls out the card inside, but it's blank. Richard almost laughs and drops it onto the desk.
Son of a bitch.
He spots Harlan's old baseball, grabs it, spitefully chucks it out the open window. Exterior side of the house, day. Blanc, Elliot, and Wagner. I want to do Blanc, Wagner. Okay, stroll along the wide lawn beside the house. Blanc ignites a long, thin cigar.
Maybe I'm a victim of my own expectations, but when the great Benoit Blanc knocks on my door, I expect it's going to be for something, if not extraordinary, at least interesting. This is an open shut case of suicide. And God, look at my wrist. And Benny, we're at the point where I need to know what we're doing here.
Blanc notices the old baseball lying in the grass. He picks it up idly.
The method, surprise nut cake, typical of a suicide.
Dramatic. But look around. The guy practically lives in a clue board.
Interior foyer. Marta sits alone across from a portrait of Harlan. Muffled voices out on the patio. Cigar smoke drifts by outside. She creeps over to the glass door and puts her ear to it.
You asked me to drag all these good people, goodish people, back for questioning, go over it all again. I don't get it. This is a pleasant-ish family with the usual quarrels, but no possible motives for murder. Where are you going?
At that moment, Blanc's face appears right next to Marta's, staring right at her through the distorted glass. She yelps and falls back. Exterior patio. Blanc opens the glass door. Marta steps back sheepishly, but with a warm nod, Blanc beckons for her to join them.
Harlan Throbby's nurse, Marta.
Cabrera.
Marta Cabrera.
Miss Cabrera, you can just wait inside. We'll be with you soon.
Now, Miss Cabrera, I've been doing a little poking. You're hired on as a part-time basis as a registered nurse, yes?
Yeah, I don't work for a VNA. Harlan hired me directly.
You're paid a flat rate for how many hours a week?
I started at 15, but slowly he needed more help.
Medical help?
He needed a friend.
Blanc smiles at the girl, genuinely touched.
Does having a kind heart make you a good nurse?
Blanc.
Yes. Marta, we were just discussing possible motives in the family. I suspect Harlan has told you how much unfiltered truth about each of them. And little bird has told me, how shall I put this delicately? You have a regurgitative reaction to mistruthing.
Who told you that?
Was I not clear, little bird? Is it true?
Yes, it's something that I've had as a kid. It's a physically thing that I just, the thought of lying, yeah, it makes me puke.
Really? Is Richard having an affair?
Marta is stunned. She flashes back to exterior patio, day, flashback. She reads. Harlan sits at his laptop, heavy with sadness.
Muting was getting problematic. Why do men instinctively pull at loose threads on their parachutes?
What?
Harlan spins his laptop towards her. The Richard photos. Exterior patio day. Back to our scene. Marta looks queasy and tries to stall.
Richard? Affair?
A yes and no will do.
She struggles, her jaw clenched, face working hard, then attempts to...
No.
And immediately vomits into a nearby planter.
Odd.
They all rush to her. Blanc brings water, awfully concerned.
Dear girl, I'm sorry. I assumed you were speaking figuratively.
Blanc takes the shortest acceptable beat of a concern before turning to Elliot.
Quite something. But I was obviously right. Richard is having an affair. His father-in-law found out and confronted him. You tell her, or I will.
Even if it's true, are you okay?
Marta gives a weak thumbs up, recovering.
Even if that was right, protecting his marriage is weak sauce as a motive.
Well, and then there is Joni.
Joni?
Joni? Lifestyle guru, Joni? No, Harlan was supporting her and her daughter, so she had the opposite of a motive.
Marta tries to quietly slip back into the house.
And if that support was threatened, Miss Cabrera, one moment, please.
I'm just gonna go get some scope.
Miss Cabrera, was Harlan planning on cutting off Joni's allowance?
Off Marta's oh god no face, interior study day flashback. Harlan looking at the letter from his business manager with the transaction receipts. He sighs heavily.
Oh, Joni.
What's up?
He hands her the letter. Exterior patio day. Marta's face works against impending nausea.
Okay, don't answer that if you're going to puke. Please.
But Blanc presses.
Meg said Harlan pays the school directly. Joni says he sends the money to her. Both were true. She was pocketing the double payment. Harlan found out and cut her off without a cent, yes?
Marta starts to shake her head no, but her throat convulses. She nods. Blanc hands her a glass of water.
And she bumps him off for the inheritance? Come on. Have you seen her Insta? She's an influencer.
An allowance as a motive, Blanc. She has her business. More weak sauce.
Blanc idly scratches a spot on the side of his neck.
Granted, but she lied to me. All three of them did.
Right?
Walter.
I see where you're going with this.
But there was something else. Harlan had turned Walter down before regarding film rights. But that night, something Harlan said shook him. We look at the pattern. Harlan was cleaning house. Now, I wonder, did he plan to fire Walter?
Can I wait inside? I don't feel like I should be here.
Yes, please just wait inside, but stay close.
She steps back in, grateful. Blanc to Elliot.
Now, you've been very patient, my friend, and you are right. None of these weak alibis and domestic squibbles answer your question. Why is Benoit Blanc here? But now I will tell you why. I am here because this morning someone dodged one very important question.
Who?
Me. Linda asks who hired me.
So, who hired you?
I do not know. An envelope of cash showed up at my apartment yesterday with the news clipping of Thromby's death.
An envelope. And that worked?
An envelope of cash.
Blanc indicates with his fingers, several inches thick.
So somebody suspects foul play but goes through this hotshot dance of hiring me, of staying anonymous. It makes no damn sense. Compels me, though. Now, walk me through everyone's whereabouts at the time of death.
Elliot hesitates, but Blanc's got him hooked. He flips open his notebook, and Blanc leans back, closes his eyes.
Well, we know the party broke up at 11:30.
Interior, second floor landing, night of the party. Marta and Harlan vanish up the stairs towards the third floor, while Richard and Linda head into the bedroom right next to the stairs. Down the hallway, Joni waves and ducks into another bedroom.
Marta took Harlan upstairs to give him his meds. Richard and Linda and Joni went right to bed. Now, we do have this. The stairs leading up to Harlan's bedroom and his attic office creak horribly.
Interior, Richard and Linda's guest room, night of the party. Richard sleeps deep. Linda sleeps lightly.
And Linda is a light sleeper, so you'd know every time someone took the stairs that night.
Interior, Joni and Meg's guest room, night of the party. Joni has decorated the room with colorful silks and candles. She is in lotus position on her bed, meditating.
The first was when Joni heard a surprise nutcake from somewhere above her in the house.
Ka-thunk. Joni looks up at the ceiling. Interior, second floor landing, night of the party. Joni trots down the hall and up the creaky steps.
She's concerned about Harlan. She went up to investigate, waking Linda.
Interior, Richard and Linda's guest room, night of the party. Creak, creak, creak. From outside, Linda's eyes pop open. Interior, third floor landing, night of the party. Joni knocks on the door of Harlan's attic office. It opens. Harlan answers. In the room behind him, we see Marta, her back turned, preparing a hypo needle.
Harlan was in his attic office with Marta. He explained that they had just knocked the Go board over, that game with the grid and the stones they played every night. And he was fine, go to bed, so she does.
The spilled Go board on the floor, Joni kisses Harlan on the cheek and goes. He shuts the door. Interior, Linda and Richard's guest room, night of the party. Linda has just gotten back to sleep.
10 minutes later, Linda is woken a second time by Marta leaving.
Creak, creak, creak. Linda wakes up, extremely annoyed.
Walt, I'm leaving.
Exterior front porch, night of the party. Walt and Jacob sit on the porch. Walt with a cigar, Jacob with his phone. Marta trots through, saying goodbye.
Walt was smoking a cigar on the porch with his son. He saw her leave and drive off and noted the time. Midnight.
Walt glances at his surprise nutcake. Midnight. Interior, Richard and Linda's guest room glances at his surprise nutcake. Night of the party. Linda with a pillow over her head.
15 minutes later, Linda is woken for a third and final time by someone coming down the stairs.
Creak, creak, creak. Linda wakes. You gotta be kidding me. Exterior, front porch, night of the party. Walt, still smoking with Jacob, spots Harlan through the glazed glass coming down the stairs in the foyer.
Harlan, who came down for midnight snacks, which Walt tried to discourage.
Dad, go to bed.
Through the glazed glass, that is mean. Harlan goes back up the stairs.
Based on this, medical examiner determined time of death to be between 12:15 and 2 a.m. As Walt was finishing his cigar about 12:30, Meg came home. She went straight to bed. Walt and Jacob turned in shortly after that.
Meg pulls up, trots past Walt and Jacob inside. Interior, Joni and Meg's guest room, night of the party. Meg stirs, wakes, and Joni is asleep.
Sometime later that night, undetermined but possibly near 3 a.m., Meg woke up because the dogs were barking outside. She used the bathroom and went back to bed.
Exterior, patio day. Elliot snaps the notebook closed.
And that's it. Everybody's story is matched, every movement accounted for.
There is no other staircase except the Harlan's room.
Blanc scratches that same spot on the side of his neck.
No, just the creaky one.
Blanc seems intrigued by this.
Interesting.
So I guess we can rule out Ransom. He wasn't there. And Marta, Harlan was alive after she left, but Meg got home during the time of the death window.
Except it was a suicide. Harlan hit both carotids. We saw from the blood splat patterns that they were uninterrupted, meaning it's almost impossible for anyone to have been around him at the time. He's the one that cut his own throat. I don't know why we keep going over this.
Well, physical evidence can tell a clear story with a forked tongue.
What?
And as we've seen this morning, everyone can lie. Well, almost everyone.
Interior library, late afternoon. Marta sits in the chair. She shifts, uncomfortable. Blanc, Elliot, and Wagner in their normal places.
Ms. Cabrera, we've kept you waiting all afternoon because I wanted to hear from you last. I wanted to have the entire picture of the evening in my head. Your piece of it is at its very center. So please take your time. You took Mr. Thromby upstairs at 11:30 and left at midnight. Now think very carefully and with as much detail as possible. Tell us what happened in that half hour.
Marta is very still. A moment of silence. Blanc flips his silver dollar into the air. She does not say a word, but in that moment, while the coin hangs in the air, we flash back with her to interior Harlan's bedroom night flashback. The night of the party, a clock on the nightstand, 11:32. Off screen, we hear Marta leading Harlan up the creaky steps.
Up, up, up. You got it.
I got it. I got it. Up, up, up. I got it.
Marta enters the room, and behind her, we see Harlan keep climbing up the narrow stairs into his office.
Up, up. No, not tonight. No, straight to bed tonight. It's so late. Come on, Harlan. Harlan.
She grabs a med kit from the bedroom and follows him, exasperated. Interior Harlan Thromby's study, night, flashback. Harlan sits, setting up a go board. Marta enters.
Harlan,
It's my birthday.
it's late. I had champagne.
You
No,
had
no,
one
no, no,
glass.
no.
We're not breaking tradition on my birthday.
Marta puts 2 vials in a pill box on the go board. She pulls out 2 plastic wrapped hypodermics.
Take your goddamn medicine and go to bed.
If you're going to put that vile surprise nutcake in me, you will have to earn it. On my birthday. 85th. So old. So.
All right, old man. 8-8 game. You ready?
She sits and they start clacking white and black stones on the board.
Why can't I beat you at this game?
Because I'm not playing to beat you. I'm playing to build a beautiful pattern.
They play fast and Marta is obviously winning.
Elder abuse. I'm calling the AARP.
Don't make me get the belt.
It's basically over. My only hope is that an earthquake will strike. I got it. An earthquake will strike. But what are the chances?
Harlan starts shaking the table with his knee. He looks around, startled. Marta just stares at him, deadpanned.
Get under a door frame!
He tips the whole table and the go board and med vials, syringe, and med kit all fall to the soft rug. Things spill out of the kit. A mess. Marta just shakes her head.
Meds, then bed.
There.
She retrieves the vials and loads a syringe from one of them. Harlan rolls up his sleeves, revealing a pre-inserted catheter. She crosses to close the room's only small window.
Walt smoking a cigar on the porch. Nasty things.
How was tonight?
She hooks up the syringe to the catheter and slowly injects him bit by bit until he talks. Or while he talks.
Damn. Tonight was good.
Because I know you weren't looking forward to it.
No, but I did it. Cut the line on all 4 of them. It was not easy. This goddamn fortune. Sometimes I think everything I've given my family, I've done, maybe without knowing it, maybe to keep them beneath me. I should have, maybe, I don't know, encouraged Walt to write his own stories, not just be a caretaker for mine. Like you said, I should. I should have been a father, not just a provider to Joni, like you've already said. I should have been kinder to Linda and Ransom.
Harlan takes a curved ornamental dagger from a display mount and turns it over in his hands.
Jesus, there's so much of me in that kid. Confident, stupid, I don't know. Protected. Playing life like a game without consequence till you can't tell the difference between a stage prop and a real knife.
He stabs it into the desk, sharp and real, leaves it there.
I don't fear death. But God, I'd like to fix some of this before I go. Close the book with a flourish. I guess we'll see.
I guess we will. Hey, old man, you've had a long day. Want to do drugs?
She loads the second syringe from the second vial.
Do you mean the good stuff?
Yeah, but just a tiny bit.
Send me to La La Land. Why did I wait till my mid-80s to become a morphine user? What a schmuck. I don't want to say that word because I don't know what it is. I'm just gonna be. I don't know, but we'll stick with schmuck. This stuff's the best.
She pulls the needle from the second vial, then sees the label, freezes, and blinks at it.
Oh my God.
She snatches up the first vial that she injected from him, compares the labels to the one she just picked up. They're similar, but they're not the same.
Is there a problem?
This is what I just gave you. 100 milligrams of, but I messed up.
You gave me 100 milligrams of the good stuff.
She immediately pulls the emergency kit from nearby shelf and starts calmly but quickly going through its contents.
What's the good stuff dosage supposed to be?
Let's not call it that right now. 3 milligrams.
That's much less. So what happens?
I give you an emergency shot of naloxone so that you don't die in 10 minutes.
Well, no pressure. You know, that's an interesting, efficient method for murder. I need to write that down.
He gets a little notebook and scribbles while she checks and rechecks the kit contents with increasing urgency.
So if someone switched the meds on purpose, I'd be dead in 10 minutes, like stone cold dead.
You'll feel symptoms in 5, sweats, disorientation, then yeah, that big a dose injected within 10, your respiratory, your eyes, yes, 10 minutes.
From the time of injection. So 8-ish now. And even if the victim called an ambulance when he first felt symptoms, if he was at a country home like this one where the ambulance takes 15 minutes to arrive, it'd be too late if the victim didn't have this emergency Noxo stuff.
He watches her. She's now digging around the carpet, looking under the couch. She dumps the entire contents of the kit out and now frantically going through it. A bead of sweat rolls down Harlan's brow.
Marta, do you have Noxo stuff?
Yes, naloxone. Yes, it comes with the emergency kit. It should be here. It's fuck. No, Harlan, it's not here. It's not. Oh my God.
They look at each other for a second. She's panicked. He's thinking.
Where's my phone? Shit.
She picks up a landline phone on the table and dials 911 with shaking hands. Before it can even ring, the line goes dead. She looks, unbelieving. Harlan's finger is on the cradle. His eyes are locked with hers, serious and certain.
Harlan, what are you doing?
Marta, listen to me.
Harlan, we need to.
Stop.
Are you
Stop.
crazy? We need a call.
Marta, listen, there isn't time.
Here.
No, stop now. Stop.
She goes for her cell phone across the room and Harlan stops her. They trip and fall to the ground with a ka-thunk.
What are you doing?
Marta.
Are you nuts?
It's too late. It is over. It's too late. I'm already dead. Listen.
He actually puts his hand over her mouth.
If what you said is true, then I am gone. There's no saving me. We have 6 minutes. There's one last thing that I need to do in this world, and only you can help me do it. But you need to trust me and do everything I say.
What do you want me to do?
Get out of this. Think of your mom. Please, trust me. We have to make this look ironclad, like it can't have been your fault. You can't have done this.
My mom?
Creak on the stairs outside.
Get up.
A knock on the door.
Harlan, Marta, everything all right?
Harlan and Marta stand. She's dazed, deer in the headlights, but he's focused and sharp. He turns her away from the door.
Stand here. Keep your back to me. Don't say a word.
Harlan opens the door, and while he gets rid of Joni, we stick with Marta, who stands stock still, tears running down her face, eyes wild. What does she do?
Joni.
Hi. I heard something. Is everything okay?
Oh, yes. I just knocked over the go board. Sorry about that.
Everything's all right?
Yes, everything's fine. Go to bed, Joni.
Okay. And maybe we can talk tomorrow about the thing.
Yes, tomorrow.
Love you. Night.
Night.
Harlan shuts the door, looks at the knife still sticking in the desk, then takes Marta's shoulders and looks her in the eyes.
Pay attention now. Your son is still undocumented? Here, Mom, I don't know why I got that. If this is your fault, she'll be found out and at best deported. Your family will be broken apart.
A new kind of fear at Marta's eyes.
Oh, God.
But we're not going to let that happen. I have a plan. It's not going to be easy, but you have to do exactly what I tell you. Will you do this, Marta? This last thing for me and for your family.
She's terrified, but she nods.
What do you want me to do?
Exterior front porch, night of the party, flashback. Walt smoking and Jacob.
Go downstairs as noisily as you can and say goodbye loudly.
Walt, I'm leaving.
Marta exits quickly down to her car.
Call attention to the time if you can.
God, it's midnight already?
Walt checks his watch. Interior Marta's car, night, flashback. She drives out the guard gate and down the private road.
Drive out the gate, and then to avoid the security cameras, pull off the road before the carved elephants.
Up ahead, a weathered wood elephant statue.
Wait, was it before or after?
After the carved elephant.
No, he said before. Was it?
The after for the carved elephant.
Shit.
She yanks the wheel and pulls off before the statue. Exterior woods, night, flashback. Marta trudges away from the parked car, tree branches catching her hair.
Park and come back to the house on foot.
Exterior Thrombey Estate, side gate, night, flashback. A waist-high stone wall with a little pedestrian gate. The house up ahead. Marta goes through the gate and up towards the house.
Take the side yard path through that little gate.
The dogs sprint down a moonlit yard from the house towards Marta.
The dogs will know you. They shouldn't bark.
The dogs stop at Marta and lick her hand. Exterior Thrombey Estate side yard, night, flashback. Marta looks up the side of the looming house, a sturdy trellis on the wall and high above a third-story window.
You've got to get up to the third floor without being seen. And the only way is to climb the side trellis and come in through the trick hall window.
You've got to be kidding me.
I am not. Do it.
Cut to moments before Marta climbing the trellis. It's easy going until a piece breaks under her foot and she swings for a second by one hand.
And for God's sakes, don't make any noise.
Interior third floor landing, night, flashback. What appears to be a dead-end hallway with a painting at the end, but suddenly the end wall swings away like a door, revealing a window behind it. Marta heaves her way in through it and steps lightly into Harlan's bedroom.
Once you're inside, this is the tricky part.
This is the tricky part?
Interior Harlan's bedroom, night, flashback.
Get my robe and cap from my bedroom and put them on.
She picks them up from the bed, stops, a moment of doubt. Interior Harlan Thrombey's study, night, flashback. Back to the scene with Harlan. Marta stops him.
Harlan, this is crazy.
We need to make this so airtight, your average cop will entirely dismiss you as a suspect. This seems crazy, but it will work.
Interior Harlan's bedroom, night, flashback. Marta in the robe, pulling the cap on, tucking her hair under it. Interior second floor landing, night of the party, flashback. Marta in Harlan's robe and cap, creeps down the creaky stairs, then keeps going down.
Walt is smoking Jacob outside. They'll see you.
Interior foyer, night of the party, flashback. That took me a minute. Marta comes down the stairs and sees the outline. I can hear Drew laughing. Outline of Walt and Jacob outside through the glazed windows.
Through the
Sorry.
glazed windows.
She holds
windows.
her breath. A deer in the headlights.
Matt, go to bed.
Marta heads back up the stairs.
You were seen leaving. The security camera show you driving off, and 20 minutes later, I am seen alive and well by my son.
Interior second floor landing, night. Marta climbs the creaky stairs.
You've gone from suspect number 1 to an impossibility.
Interior Harlan's bedroom, night. Marta ducks in, ditching the robe and cap on the bed. Exterior Thrombey Estate side yard, night. Marta shimmies down the last of the trellis.
Leave the way you came, and don't be seen.
She hops down to the ground, then freezes and almost shouts. She's facing a darkened first floor window, wide open, and inside it, staring right at her, is Great Nana. Marta is frozen. Great Nana isn't moving either, just has her eyes locked on Marta. After what it seems like forever, Great Nana cocks her head slightly and asks,
Ransom? Are you back again already?
Marta breathes and backs away, then turns and goes quickly down across the yard or lawn.
Drive home. Sometime in the next few days, the police will question you.
Interior Harlan Thrombey's study, night. Back to Harlan and Marta.
Harlan, I can't lie. I'll puke.
Don't lie. Tell fragments of the truth in this exact order.
Interior library, late afternoon. Blanc catches his coin. Lieutenant Elliot and Trooper Wagner look up at Marta, expectant. Just a brief moment has passed since we left them.
I took him upstairs. We played our nightly game of Go. At some point, he knocked the board over and Joni came up to check on us. Then I gave him pain medication. He pulled his shoulder last week and left him in his study. At midnight, said bye to Walt, went home.
What medication did he get?
Marta chooses her words very carefully.
Since his injury, I've been giving him 100 milligram IV push of Toradolol, a non-narcotic analgesic, and to help him sleep, 3 milligrams of morphine.
Anything unusual about his demeanor?
Uh-oh. Marta keeps it solid. Superhuman effort.
No.
The three men nod. Blanc holds Marta's gaze. She holds it right back. Then he smiles.
Well, that sounds about right. Thank you, Ms. Cabrera.
Interior foyer, moments later. Marta walks calmly out of the library, then across the foyer into a small door. Interior half bath. Marta walks in, closes the door behind her, locks it, turns on both taps, then pukes into the toilet. Interior Linda's room. Linda stands in her childhood room by the window in the ebbing light. From a shelf, she pulls a stack of pink note cards, identical to the one Harlan showed Richard in his office. But these are covered in writing, sweet little notes a father to his daughter.
Hey sis, people are going to start getting here for the memorial party soon. Are you all right?
She looks up. Walt in the doorway. She wipes her eyes and indicates the notes.
I was just thinking about Dad's games. This all feels like one. It feels like something he'd write, not do. I keep waiting for like the big reveal where it all makes sense. How nice would that be?
Her little brother hugs her, his eyes tired and dark. Interior living room night. Harlan Thromby, his portrait with an ambiguous look on his face. Marta, soda water in hand at the reception that night, staring shell-shocked at Harlan. The reception for friends of the family, tables of food, 20 or 30 people milling in dark, tasteful clothes with the whole Thromby family. A tearful Fran has cornered Marta, talks through sobs.
I don't think he killed himself. I don't. Okay, so there's this Hallmark movie, Deadly by Surprise, where Danica McKellar plays a wife who gets poisoned by her husband. But bit by bit, she thinks she's going crazy, and she ends up killing herself. And my cousin, who's the receptionist at the medical examiner's office, says that kind of thing can totally happen. She sees it, like, she says it's like not even like 3%, like as crazy as stuff she's seen come through.
As Fran's talking, Marta looks at the room of family members gathered around talking. She flashes back to interior living room, night of the party, flashback at night. At the night of the party, Harlan and Ransom go off together to have a small private talk, leaving the family having a heated conversation in the living room.
I don't like him. No, he's an asshole, but maybe an asshole is what we need.
Oh, God. Yeah, an asshole is what Germany needed in 1930, whatever.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Pardon. Marta stays on the outskirts, Fran with a tray of champagne flutes.
Jesus, I'm going to disappear until all the politics talk is done. You want some champers?
No, I'm technically working. Thanks.
Marta checks her watch. Meanwhile, Donna, who's had a few, is tearing into the family fight.
We're losing our way of life and our culture. There's millions of Mexicans coming, and this isn't Joni.
Oh, God, really? It's
I'd say
not a
the
race
same
thing,
thing
yeah.
if they were European immigrants. We allow
Oh,
them
yeah.
in, and then they think they own what's
Having
ours.
all the streets. They're putting children in cages. I mean, these are camps.
Nobody's saying it isn't bad, but I blame the parents.
For wanting a better life for their kids? Isn't that what America...
For breaking the law. You're going to hate hearing this, but it's true. America is for Americans. Marta, come here.
Richard beckons her over, waving his cake plate. We've seen this moment before, silent, during Richard's questioning.
Oh, God, don't.
Marta is drawn over next to Richard, very uncomfortable.
No, Marta, your family came here from Uruguay, but you did it right. You did it legally, I'm saying. You work hard, and you'll earn your share from the ground up, just like Dad and all of us did. Marta, I bet you agree with me.
Leave the poor girl alone.
No, Marta, do you agree? I'd like you to answer. You want to become an American? There are legal ways to do it. But if you break the law, it doesn't matter if you have a good heart. You gotta face the consequences.
At that moment, booming shouts begin behind the study door. Harlan and Ransom going at it. Ransom bursts out. Marta takes the opportunity to slip into the hallway alone. She breathes hard, takes a champagne flute from the tray, drinks it in one gulp. Interior living room night, end flashback. Marta in the same spot. Fran still talking her ear off. The room sways. Marta sucks in breath, sways, embraces herself against the wall.
Oh my God, Marta, what?
Sorry. Meg runs over, rubs her back. Meg is muted.
Oh, ah! Yes. Whoa, hey, come here. What do you want water? Breathe. Hey, friend, you still have your stash?
Interior drawing room night. Empty and dark, fireplace blazing. Above the fireplace is an ornate mantel clock. Fran uses a key to unlock one of several tiny drawers hidden in its face. Takes out a joint and hands it to Meg.
Take them whenever you need them. They're just drying out since you gave me that jewel.
Thanks, Fran.
Fran leaves them alone.
I'm sorry.
Stop saying you're sorry. Jesus.
Sorry.
Meg lights the joint.
God, my heart won't stop. I can't. It's just everything. No, thank you.
She refuses the joint, then realizes where it came from.
That's where Fran keeps her stash.
Who's going to open a clock?
Interior living room. Walt yells at a non-responsive, bored great Nana.
You want dinner, Nana?
Walt, she's fine.
She eats.
She ate the entire salmon spread.
Meg grabs Walt, pulls him to Marta.
No, not yet. Is now a good time? Oh,
Oh, you skipped Meg's line, friend.
It's okay. I was muted again.
Oh, okay.
I was lying, but Did you tell Marty yet what we all talked about?
No, not yet. Is now a good time?
Yes, very good time. Right now.
Marta, we've talked it over, and have you been smoking grass?
No.
We talked it over, and the whole family, we want to take care of you.
What does that mean?
We all think you deserve something.
Financially, we want to help you out. You were never anything but good to Dad. Because of that, you can count on us.
Walt embraces her. Meg puts a hand on her back. Oh, okay. Over Walt's shoulder, Marta sees Harlan's portrait again. Has its expression changed? It looks like it has a slight conspiratorial smile. Marta, breathes. Oh, Lord. Maybe this is all going to be okay. Is it?
I thought you should have been at the funeral, by the way. I was outvoted.
Exterior side porch night. Later, Marta comes out to get some air, exhales deeply, and then jumps. She's not alone. Benoit Blanc sits in a wicker chair in the dark, smoking a long, thin cigar.
Ah, detective, you're still here?
Silence. Blanc smokes and stares at Marta. Marta shifts.
Did you know Harlan?
Well, he knew my father, who was a police detective back in Pennsatucky, Bama line of Siena, Stan, years ago. My father respected Harlan. That says quite a lot.
So that's why you're here?
Here now? Here? No, I stayed hoping to speak to you a little more. Something is afoot with this whole affair. I know it, and I believe you know it.
So you're going to keep digging?
Highlands detectives, they dig. They rifle and root truffle pigs. Now me, I anticipate the terminus of Gravity's Rainbow.
Gravity's Rainbow?
It's a novel.
I know. I haven't read it.
Neither have I. Nobody has. I actually have read it. But I like the title. It describes the path of a projectile determined by natural law. Voila, a method. I observe the facts without biases of the head or heart. I determine the arc's path, stroll leisurely to its terminus, and the truth falls at my feet. The medical examiner was ready to rule this a suicide, but Elliot agreed to keep it pending for 48 hours. Tomorrow morning, I search the grounds and the house, begin my investigation. I want you to be by my side for it. My confidant, my eyes and ears.
What? But why me?
I trust your kind heart. And you're the only one who had nothing to gain from Harlan's death. So, Watson?
I think that's supposed to be Blanc, puts out his cigar and stands.
You want my insight into the family? None of them are murderers. That's my insight.
And yet, be it cruel or comforting, this machine unerringly arrives at the truth. That's what it does.
Always?
He does a little bow, because of course.
Tomorrow at 8.
Marta watches him go. Interior Cabrera living room at night. Marta gets home. Her mom is on the couch, zoning out in front of the TV, still in a cleaning uniform. Without a word, Marta sits next to her and stares at the TV. Off her eyes, we flash back with her to the interior of Harlan Thromby's study night flashback.
I know I missed something. There's going to be something I missed. But I know you can beat it. Without losing your soul, you have to do what you have to do to beat this and win.
I can't.
You can, and you have to, for me, right now.
She's out the door and he shuts it. Interior outside Harlan's attic office door, night flashback. Marta stands frozen. Soft voices of Walt and Jacob float up from downstairs. She turns back to the door. Silence. Moments going by. Shit. Can she do this? Shit. No. She turns and pushes back into the office. Interior Harlan Thromby's study night flashback.
Harlan, I have to get you help.
Harlan reclines on the couch in the middle of the room, ornate dagger against his throat. Marta's eyes go wide.
Just do what I say, and everything's going to be okay, Marta. I promise.
She makes a move to stop him, and with one quick motion, he draws the dagger across his throat. Blood sprays. She leaps back, hands to her mouth, spins and leaves the room, closing the door behind her. Exterior third floor landing night flashback. Breathing hard, silent crying, then her breathing slows, her brain taking over, resolve settling. The dice are thrown. She wipes her eyes, then bounds down the stairs, out of frame. Interior Cabrera living room. Back to Marta and her mom on the couch. She puts her hand on her mom's knee.
Everything's going to be okay. I promise.
I know.
They go back to watching TV, but Marta's mind is buzzing. On her white sneaker, we see but what she does not. One single drop of blood. Exterior Thromby Estate Guard gate, morning. The gate is open. Marta's car pulls up just inside it. The small guard house next to the gate. Blanc, Elliot, and Wagner outside it. Blanc waves to her. Interior guardhouse. Thromby security man, Mr. Proofrock, I think, guides them into a cramped, dusty space. Proofrock is old and salty, just like Paul. No, I'm kidding. He shows, I was waiting to see the face. I'm just kidding. He shows them old photos of the old house. We all know it's Drew, stuck into a steel fridge with big, brightly colored fruit magnets.
50 years I worked this estate. You know, security back then meant making the rounds with a surprise nutcake, keeping your ears open before all this modern technology.
Nothing in the room is newer than 1988. An 8-inch CRT monitor shows a phosphorescent live feed of the road outside the gate, and a top-loaded VHS VCR sits next to it.
Well, the video here, I saved the tape from that night. Usually I erase them with a magnet degazer, but I thought better save that one because security, that's the live feed right there.
Marta notices something with the alarm. The video feed shows the road outside, and at the top edge, you can just barely see the carved elephant that marks the gardener's utility road. She realizes Harlan said,
To avoid the security cameras, pull off the road after the carved elephant.
Marta keeps a poker face, but shit.
Can we see the actual tape?
Oh, sure.
Clack. The tape loads into the mechanical VCR, an impossibly grainy, smeared night vision view of the road outside the gate. Timestamp 10:02 p.m.
It's like a Japanese horror movie.
I recorded SSLP, gets 8 hours per tape, 9 p.m. to 5 a.m.
Can we
Scan forward.
scan forward?
Hold the play button down and press the FF down halfway till you feel it grind.
That's what she said. Wagner does. The machine makes horrible noises and picture frizzles and frazzles, then stops and ejects.
And hold the tape down or it'll eject.
Can you guys digitize it so we can scan it properly?
I'm sure we can.
I got it.
Marta grabs the tape from the VCR. Exterior woods day. They all hack through the overgrown gardener's path.
You know, all of these statues that you see around here, they're all pretty straight out of his series, the Menagerie Tragedy series. It's pretty cool, really.
Awesome. Blanc, the grounds are lovely, but you think, what, someone broke into the house to kill Harlan? Is that why we're out here?
I think it's unlikely, but if they did, there will be traces.
I'll take that. Thanks, ma'am.
Marta hands Wagner the VHS tape. Then she discreetly pockets something she had held in her hand next to it. A few of the bright fruit magnets from Proof Rock's fridge. Exterior Thromby Estate side yard. The group hikes up out of the woods towards the low wall with a small pedestrian gate that leads them to the east lawn. Marta is out in front. During the following, she notices something. The earth around and under the gate is soft and bare, and clear as day, her footprints from the other night, the only ones from women's shoes, the same ones she has on right now, and her breath catches. Shit.
Any luck with what's his name?
Ransom? No, but we've got an address. It's 10 Kennewick Street.
10 Kinnock. That's a pleasant thing to say. Kinnock. I awoke amid Kinnock.
Ugh, all this mud. My boots are gonna stink.
Mud. Has it rained the past week? No. Nobody move. Freeze, everyone. These footprints must not be disturbed. Marta!
Marta has already walked through the pedestrian gate and up onto the lawn. Stepping in her pre-existing prints, she turns back, playing dumb.
What?
Don't stop there. Don't.
I can't hear you. What?
She trots back to them through the gate, stepping into her returning prints.
No, don't step on the. Oh, okay, all right. Okay.
What?
Blanc sidesteps up to the gate, not stepping in the mud.
All right. Wagner, let's get the boys on it. Check the prints, tape off this area, keep it clear.
The dogs come running down the lawn, barking at the men. They tear through the gate, further messing up the mud.
Hey, boys, easy. Hey.
She pets them and they quiet down.
Best judge character is a dog. I've found that to be true.
Facts. The dogs start barking and bolt toward the house, where Richard and Linda are pulling up in their Lux SUV.
They're doing the will reading at 10. Whole family will be here soon.
Oh, sorry. The dog distracted me. Elliot heads towards the house. Blanc meanders up the lawn, and Marta follows.
I've never been to a will reading.
You think it'll be like a game show? No. Imagine a community theater performance of a tax return.
They approach the side of the house. Blanc does a gentle, meandering study of the layout. Marta steals a look at the trellis that she climbed. Ah, no. A piece of the white lattice trellis that broke off when she was climbing, about 8 inches long, lies in the grass beneath her. Her eyes dart up. Yep, there's the broken spot. Shit.
Sweet beans!
Marta starts. Did he spot it? No, he's come face to face with Great Nana, standing stock still on the porch. She stares at him like a bird.
Well, good morning, Mrs. Thromby.
He approaches her slowly. When his back is fully turned, Marta takes her shot and kicks the piece of trellis under some thick bushes at the base of the house. Blanc and Great Nana stare at each other. Blanc gets very close to her, great sympathy in his eyes. Great Nana stares back. It's almost like they're communicating. This goes on for a little too long, and then Blanc breaks from the trance and turns to Marta.
Do you think you could handle the study?
Interior Harlan Thromby's study. The blood is now only a subtle dark stain, but other than that, the room has been left intact from the night of the party. Marta and Wagner observe as Blanc paces the room.
Where's your medical bag?
I don't know. I left it here. I always leave it with Harlan at night.
They must have taken it in as evidence. I'll check on it.
Blanc picks up the Go board and sets it on the table, examines its grid idly.
How'd the Go board get knocked over?
We were just goofing around. What are you thinking?
Blanc sighs gently, turns the baseball over in his hands. Looks like this was a bust. Blanc tips the Go board over and it lands on the carpet with a nearly inaudible woof. He stares at it, but his concentration is broken by sharp barking outside. They go to the tiny window and look out. A dashing man in his early 30s climbs out of a vintage Porsche. The dogs go nuts, biting at his pant legs.
Let me guess.
Exterior Thromby Estate front drive. The man kicks off the dogs, rude, and limps towards the house, cursing. Lieutenant Elliot and Trooper Wagner step out onto the porch.
You Drysdale?
Ransom. Call me Ransom. It's my middle name. The help call me Hugh.
I'm Lieutenant Elliot. This is Officer Wagner. We'd like to ask you a few questions about the night of...
Uh-huh.
He blows past them and into the house. Interior living room. Walt, Donna, and Jacob, nose in his phone, sit around the room. Linda and Richard stand on their phones. Ransom breezes in, bumping Donna, who yelps, startled. Elliot and Wagner follow.
Sir, excuse me, we are officers of the law.
You gonna run me in? I don't feel like talking. I'm distraught.
Ransom disappears into the kitchen, comes out eating a sleeve of pinwheel cookies. Blanc and Marta slip in. Elliot nods to Blanc.
Blanc, anything you need to ask him?
The hell anyway is this arrangement?
Mr. Drysdale?
Ransom sizes up Blanc with a grin. Jesus.
CSI KFC?
Ransom grabs Fran, the housekeeper's sleeve, as she walks by.
Hey, Franny, can you get me a glass of cold milk?
Meg and Jody have entered, and Meg heard this.
Hey, asshole. It's not her name, not her job.
Fran walks off with a scorching look at Ransom.
Meg, how's that SJW degree coming along?
Trust fund prick.
All right, guys.
Alan Stevens, the family's attorney, knocks and enters with an assistant, Sally, who juggles several attaché cases.
Hey, everyone. Hey, I'm just going to set up in the other room. Be ready in 10 minutes.
They go off into the library, leaving the family all together in tense silence.
Funny, Ransom, you skipped the funeral, but you're early for the will reading.
Okay, people grieve in different ways. Let's not.
It's funny you're here at all. Why are you even bothering? That's what I want to know.
What's that supposed to mean?
He knows what it means.
Wait, what?
Jacob was in the bathroom that night of the party.
Is that where you were all night?
The hell were you doing in the bathroom all night?
Nothing?
Squatting Syrian refugees.
No.
Alt-right troll.
Liberal snowflake.
Well,
I don't know what any of that means.
It means your son's a little creep.
Oh, my son's a creep?
Guys, well, he was in the bathroom?
He was in the bathroom.
Joylessly masturbating to pictures of a dead deer.
Okay, you want to go?
they all go at each other and do some half-hearted flat fighting before Linda and Jody break them apart. Ransom's loving this.
You know, we got to do this more often.
All right, enough. Jacob, we get where this is going. The bathroom's next to Harlan's office, where he had the big fight with Ransom. You heard something? Spill it.
I just heard two things.
Interior half bath, night of the party flashback. Jacob on the toilet, hearing non-distant yelling through a vent high in the wall, but two words poke through.
My will.
Interior living room.
Then there was more shouting, but I also heard Ransom say, "I'm warning you."
Walt raises his arms, triumphant.
Ransom? What does this mean?
He just eats cookies, silent.
It means Dad finally came to his senses and cut this worthless, lazy brat out of his will. And you better sell your little beamer and better give your notice at that country club and kick whatever fashion drugs you're on. Because I think if you think the bridges you've burned, the shit you've said, and what you've put this family through for the past 10 years, that any of us are going to support you, are going to give to you like Dad used to say a single red dime, you're nuts.
Ransom looks around the room, cold faces.
Son,
Father.
did Harlan tell you he was cutting you out of the will?
Yep.
Then he's finally done what we weren't strong enough to do. This might finally make you grow up.
Ransom is really slapped by this, but he doesn't let it show.
I think it might be the best thing that could happen to you.
Thanks. My mother, folks.
It won't be easy for you, but it'll be good. Nothing good is ever easy.
Oh, up your ass, Joni. You got your teeth bit into this family. It's so hard.
Oh, up your ass. Very nice, homophobic, privileged.
Look, as a matter of fact, eat shit. How's that? In fact, eat shit. You eat shit. You eat shit. You're cool. You eat shit. You eat shit. Eat shit.
How did I know you were going to do that? I love it. And now everyone is shouting at each other. Blanca's heard enough. He sets the baseball down on a side table and drifts out. Marta follows him. Exterior front porch, still me. Blanc breathes in the air. Marta joins him. From inside the house, the shouting continues.
What was that about will readings being boring?
Exception that proves the rule.
Fran bursts out of the living room, muttering,
Asshole.
She storms off around the house, a beat of thought, and then,
I'm warning you. Ransom said, I'm warning you.
one of the dogs bounds up the steps to Blanc.
You heard Ransom in there. It's the kind of thing he says.
When Blanc goes to pet him, the dog drops something to his feet with a clatter. Marta freezes.
What's he got there? Hey, boy, you find a stick? He always is bringing junk into the house.
It's the piece of broken trellis. Blanc picks it up, examines it, and suddenly his eyes go sharp. Exterior Thromby Estate, side yard. Holding the piece up as he studies the trellis that runs up the side of the house, Marta runs up beside him.
This looks like a relatively fresh break. Yes, right there.
He spotted the broken spot on the trellis. Just up from it, what looks like a boarded window.
Wait, that doesn't make sense. Where's that window?
Interior living room. The whole family is in a screaming match, but Blanc and Marta walk through and up the stairs. 3 people notice: Elliot, Wagner, and who follow, and Ransom, who doesn't. Interior 3rd floor landing. Blanc looks down the dead-end hallway. Marta joins him, out of breath.
Show me, but don't step on the carpet.
It's a runner rug, and Marta delicately steps on the wood, sighing as she goes up to the wall and with the painting, and swings it open, revealing the window.
It's the trick window from A Kill for All Seasons.
Elliot and Wagner at the top of the stairs, and Blanc motions them to approach.
Off the carpet.
He drops down onto his knees, removes a loop from his jacket, and holds it in his eye. Yeah. Then his face inches from the carpet. He scans it all the way to the window, then stops.
Traces of dried mud. I suspect they go the length of the hallway.
Footprints?
No, just traces.
Depending on when it was last cleaned, it could be from any time.
But that would not explain this.
He motions to the base of the windowsill, obvious scuffs of dried mud. Marta winces. Blanc tosses the piece of trellis to Elliot. Oh,
Analyze this mud. It will match these traces, and you will find similar samples leading up the trellis to the side of the house. On the night of the party, someone who did not wish to be heard climbing the steps went to a great deal of trouble breaking a hollow through his rooms. Game is afoot. Hey, Watson.
All right. Yay! And we are at intermission. It is, hold on, I got it, 8:45. So we will come back at 9, everybody. Sound good? 15 minutes? All right.
15.
All right. We'll see you at 9.
hey, Dad, are you nearby?
I'm gonna be honest, that scared the shit out of me.
Sorry. I was trying to do like a little present thing while we were on intermission, but I can't figure out how to present on Zoom because I don't Zoom. But
It was literally like, hey, Dad.
oh,
Like,
that's
out
just
of
me.
nowhere, black screen, and then just a voice.
Hey, Daddy. No. I gave up on the dream. I gotta pee real bad, so. I don't necessarily mind being taken care of. They're making me more jello, so
Does the Jello like help your throat?
it really does.
So this is like a theater hack, like a theater performer hack is making Jello and then drinking it instead of letting it set, because the glycerin is what coats your throat, which is what you need before you sing.
That's what I'm doing. Yeah.
If you don't ever have Jello, gummy bears work.
I told Drew that this afternoon. I was like, we could use the gummy bears if nothing else.
Gummy bears work the same. Just put a few in like a teacup and then hot water over it because it's the glycerin. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. No, I noticed a big difference when I was done with the Jello versus, like the end of. I was like, okay, I'm feeling it. Yeah. I need more Jello. Oh, let me get my mask back on. Thank you, dear.
Aw, hey, boo. He's just leaving. They're just leaving. They're like, whatever, turn the light off. Take your Jello. Take your Jello. Shut the fuck up.
Oh, yeah, I have to shut the door down, too.
I love that he turned the light off.
I know. He's like, in the dark.
Also, I hope this one, figures their life out, because she keeps getting up, getting down. I'm like, man, this is the most activity she's given in, 17 of these breeds. Silly dog. Oh yeah. But yeah, we got some audience tonight, so I'm gonna say hi to Carly and hi to Lynn. Hope you're still with us.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, I knew Drew was going to make an excellent ransom.
Yeah, absolutely.
No doubt. We're talking about you.
Yeah, I know. I said I don't know what you're talking about. I don't make an excellent ransom.
You're not mischievous in any way, shape.
No, definitely not typecast.
No. I feel like we all kind of were a little bit, but it works.
Yeah.
I'm super excited to cook in that gorgeous kitchen of your guys's. So excited.
We're excited to let you cook in that kitchen.
We're excited to eat what you cook in that kitchen.
Yeah. When are you coming again?
Dad and I are going to work out our schedules so that we're there at the same time. So we're hoping sometime in the summer. Yeah.
Player
so I'm going to let Dad give me some dates since, he's a PhD student now. He's going to college.
Food.
So, and then we'll kind of work around that, and then we'll throw you guys some dates, and then we'll try and pick a long weekend that works for everybody.
Cool. Yeah, I want to really try to make sure that I can go out with you all this time and be there for more than just everyone's hangover brunch, which Michelle did love Lily, but I could tell everyone was a little bit on the struggle bus, and I felt
Dad was the strugglingest of the struggle bus.
Paul literally took a nap watching Kindergarten Cop while Dad threw up in the bathroom.
We did.
I even made vegan sausage and stuff for Dad at that hangover brunch, but he couldn't even eat it. It was just he's like, it smells delicious.
I've had that before though, where you have that.
Now we know that when Dad's hungover, we just have to blast Alanis Morissette and it fixes it.
Yeah, outside. Yeah, he went outside to Alanis Morissette and she cured him.
I mean, on good authority, Alanis Morissette is God. So.
This is what I hear. Oh my God, she was on the Kelly Clarkson show, and did you see it? Kelly Clarkson was crying. It was so sweet.
I always love when Kelly has musicians on there because she'll have them sing their songs and Kelly always harmonizes with them, do their songs, and I always just fucking love it. But then it's also
Kelly Clarkson.
Also oh my God, your voice, you're so amazing, and you're like of all people, Kelly Clarkson, you're amazing.
Speaking of Kelly Clarkson, literally, in her revenge era right now, holy shit, she is hardcore in her revenge era, and I am here for it Fuck her ex. Fuck his piece of shit
That's
dad. Lord, but she is like, she's like, I'm in New York. I'm in what is she? She's at Rockefeller, like, and she is looking amazing.
Nope.
Yeah. I'm super happy for her. But yeah, I love how she always gushes over everybody that clearly has a lesser voice than she does. And she's like, you sound amazing. Yeah. I'm like, Kelly, have you heard yourself sing?
Pink always does the same thing. Like they have like multiple videos of her like reacting to like people covering her songs and whatnot. She's like, that's so much better than I do it. And I'm like, it's just amazing to me how humble some of those folks are.
Yeah.
I don't know how you could be Pink or Kelly Clarkson and in any way think anyone is doing that song better than you.
Right?
Because at one point you have to just stop and be like, damn, I'm motherfucking Pink. Like,
right?
I'm the one who's gonna do this.
So also there's this video going around of Pink, how she trains to sing, like being in the air. And
I saw that too.
Yeah, like her aerialist who she trains with stands on her stomach while she sings so that she can like train her muscles. I was like, that is insane. Like that's crazy.
That's hardcore.
There's all kinds. Like Destiny's Child used to run. They used to go on like super long runs and like do their songs and harmonies while they were on a run, like actually out and about, because they needed that breast support to be able to do their dancing and whatnot.
Oh yeah, that's a dancer Broadway trick, is singing and like running on the treadmill and singing. Yeah. And
I want to know if we're on the, like, while we're on the topic of like aerobic fucking vocalists, is Hayley Williams from Paramore. Like, how do you, if you watch her on stage, like she's like, what, I don't know, 2 feet tall, sprinting from one side of the stage to the other.
That was the Alanis Morissette
belting,
concert. She like speed walked back and forth the whole time, and I was just like, I'm out of breath watching you walk back and forth across the stage, let alone singing.
She is amazing. Like, she's only gotten better with age, like a fine wine. I love her.
Same.
All right, are we all back? We are all back. Hello, everybody, and welcome to part 2 of Knives Out. Thank you guys for joining us. I don't have the charity pulled up right now. If somebody wants to jump in real quick and fill in for
the
amount. So it is in our link. Please support supporting Indigenous people and Indigenous land. That is our charity this month. And without further ado, Ginger.
All right, let's go. I got more Jell-O. I'm down. Okay. Interior library, minutes later. The whole family assembled. Marta stands in the back with Blanc, Elliot, and Trooper Wagner. Alan Stevens, Harlan's attorney, sits at a table with papers in front of him, Assistant Sally behind him.
Well, thank you all for getting together like this. It isn't legally necessary, but I thought, because you're all in town and some of you are leaving soon, it would be best.
Excuse me, Mr. Stevens. As to that, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to gently request that y'all remain in town until the investigation is completed. Shouldn't be more than 2 days.
He's gently requesting, I'm ordering. Nobody move until we figure this out.
What?
Can we ask why? Has something changed?
No.
No, it hasn't changed, or no, we can't ask.
Mr. Stevens, please continue.
Right. Well, the other reason I thought this gathering would be beneficial is that, as I told Walt, Harlan altered his will 1 week ago. He sealed it and asked me to not submit it to the courts for probate until after his death. So in case there's any confusion about anything we're all together, we can talk. I can't imagine any of it will be complicated. Harlan's assets included
the house.
The house, which he owned outright.
60 million.
Right, 60 million, yes, in various cash accounts and investments, yes. And of course, the real assets are sole ownership of
Blood Like Wine.
Blood Like Wine Publishing, his publishing company. Okay.
You're on mute, baby.
No. Is
She
that
has to
mute
say it
narrator?
twice.
Anyway, Walt's wife puts her hand on his knee. He squeezes it, smiling tightly.
He did write up a statement when he made the recent changes, and he wanted it read first. So some of you may be surprised by the choices I've made here. No pleasure was taken in the exclusion, and its purpose was not to sow greater discord in the family. Quite the opposite, actually. Please accept it with grace and without bitterness. But do accept it. It's for the best.
Gently condescending eyes shift to Ransom. Linda sees this, puts her hand on her son's hand, and he immediately gets up and moves to a chair in the corner. Alan's assistant hands him an envelope and removes a single sheet of paper with one short typed paragraph.
Okay. So, oh, wow. Yeah, not complex at all. This will be quick. I, Harlan Thromby, being of sound mind and body, yada yada, my assets, both liquid and otherwise, I leave in their entirety to Marta Cabrera. My entire ownership of Blood Like Wine publishing, I leave in its entirety to Marta Cabrera. The copyright of its catalog, likewise, I leave in its entirety to Marta Cabrera.
The air around Marta's head goes away. The room spins. She's not sure what's happening. Blanca's looking at her. The whole family is looking at her. Walt bursts out of his chair and grabs the will.
No.
No.
No. What? That can't be right. That can't be right.
What the genuine shit?
That can't be right.
It's right.
Donna begins to hyperventilate. She puts her head between her knees and breathes deep.
No. Alan, this can't be legal. We're his family.
We're his family, Alan. He obviously wants something. I don't know what, but something wasn't right here.
Are there safeguards against this?
And from the back of the room, slowly rising above the din and confusion and cursing, slowly drawing even Marta's deer in the headlights attention, Ransom, laughing, loud and weirdly sincerely, tears down his cheeks, laughing his head off.
Alan, there's a mistake.
Mom, if it's what Granddad wanted.
No, this is a mistake. This is ours.
Alan, take that paper and shove it up your ass and get out. And you cops, out.
They don't, but Ransom slips out, his childlike laughter trailing behind him.
Linda?
No, we need to talk and we need to fight this thing. We're not going anywhere. Get out. We're the Thrombies, goddammit. This is still our house? Our house?
A beat of silence. Then all eyes go to Alan, who looks at the will, and his assistant Sally points helpfully.
Sorry, there's likewise the house at 2 Dearborn Drive and all belongings therein I leave to Marta Cabrera.
Linda goes for Marta.
You little bitch. Did you know about this? What did you do? Talk to him to make this happen? Were you boinking my father?
Marta recoils and stumbles back.
Boinking?
Linda.
Her baby.
Marta, Jacob, and Linda, please.
Linda, please. Marta, you need to tell us, though.
Yes, Marta. Did you discuss this? Did he discuss? Did
You
Dad
need to
discuss
tell
this
us
with you?
everything you know about this, and we need to talk about this.
This isn't what Dad wanted. This isn't fair, but we can work this out.
Jesus, don't mob the girl. Let's talk about this.
The whole family is coming towards her like zombies. Blanc takes her by the arm and steers her towards the door.
I think heads have to cool a little. In the meantime, I'd maybe run.
Exterior Thromby Estate, front drive. Marta stumbles out of the house in a daze. Behind her, the entirety of the family floods out after her, shouting reassurances and questions and accusations and a general din of confusion.
I I have no idea why I just need to think. I'll call you or have him call me or do something. I don't know.
She gets in her car and slams the door, and it's instantly like a hard day's night. The family gathered around trying to talk through the window and rapping to get her attention. Marta keys the ignition. Chug, chug, chug. Nothing. Oh God, not now. Chug, chug, chug. It won't turn over. Richard opens the door and she pulls it closed again and locks it. This is like a horror movie. Blanc is trying to get the family to back off, but no dice. Marta puts her head up into her hands, all of it swirling and echoing and horrifying. She has no idea what to do. Honk! She turns. A honking car pulls up right beside her, and through the family crowd, she sees Ransom in his Porsche, waving, "Get in." With no other option, she pushes out of her car and through the family and jumps in with him. As he guns it and careens out of the driveway, he shouts back at the family with a wave.
Hey, I think this could be the best thing to happen to all of you.
And they're gone. The family keeps shouting out at each other. Blanc watches the Porsche recede, his expression unreadable. Ding! His phone buzzing. He checks it. His expression darkens. Interior Ransom's Porsche. Tearing down the private road away from the house, he's still laughing. She's still shell-shocked. Slowly, his laughter eases to a stop, and a moment of silence.
Okay, seriously though? What the hell?
She shakes her head and looks at him. What the hell indeed? Exterior roadside family restaurant later. The Porsche parked out front. Interior restaurant, corner booth. Tucked into a dark corner, Marta is miserable. Ransom is bemused, but regards her closely. They sit in silence. A waitress sets a sausage plate down.
Hey. Could we get an extra bowl, please? You look like you're gonna pass out. Have you eaten all day? Eat something.
She joylessly shovels food in her mouth, starving.
This is a nightmare.
Uh-huh. So why?
Why?
Why? Hey, this is everything. Like, there has to be a bigger reason why, and you know it.
Well, Ransom, how about it had more to do with you guys than with me?
Yeah. Yeah, that's about the only thing that makes sense.
Marta is unexpectedly affected by this. The waitress breezes by, sets an empty bowl on the table.
Did he tell you anything?
Just that I wasn't getting a cent.
Ransom.
Yeah, this script is a little complicated.
Sorry. He wanted you to build something from the ground.
Yeah, something from the ground up, just like my parents.
Like
Yeah.
your parents.
My mom built her business from the ground up with $1 million loan from my granddad. My dad owns none of it, and mom made him sign a prenup. He lives in fear. I know that's not what granddad wanted to protect me from doing this. And I know I really shouldn't say this out loud, but when he told me, Jesus Christ, I could have killed him. But after I left the party, though, I was driving really fast, nowhere, just in the night, and I got this weird clarity, like that from here on out, I was gonna have to do it for myself, and that felt good. I mean, the old bastard. Marta, I know 3 things. 1, I know he didn't commit suicide.
What makes you think that?
I don't think it, I know it, because I knew my granddad. So you're not gonna bullshit me. 2, I know that lying makes you puke because that mafia game last 4th of July.
Marta sinks back, suddenly nervous.
And 3, I know that you just ate a full plate of sausage and surprise nut cake.
She looks down at her empty plate. Oh no. He pushes the large, empty bowl in front of her.
So, look me in the eye. Tell me what really happened to my granddad.
Her lip quivers. She looks like she might attempt it, but then tears drop from her eyes.
You bastard.
Ransom pulls the bowl away and puts his hands on hers.
Marta, tell me everything.
Exterior Thromby Estate evening. Dusk settles heavy, warm light in the windows.
There have to be options here.
No. I don't know how many times I can repeat the same two simple pieces of information.
Interior living room, evening. Lit by a fire in the fireplace, the whole family pacing around. Alan, the lawyer, looking very tired, seated at a table in the center of the room.
Listen, if Harland was of sound mind when he made the changes, and we've all confirmed that he was.
Would a sound person do this? Sound how?
This very action speaks to unsoundness.
Not legally, no. You not liking what they did does not speak to testamentary capacity.
What about undue influence?
Yes, undue influence.
Did you just Google that?
If Marta was manipulating Dad somehow, if we found out that she had,
Oh, gotten her hooks into him.
something or something.
You need a strong case for that. You've got nothing. She endeared herself to him through hard work and good humor. Won't cut the salami.
What about the Slayer rule?
All eyes turned to her, her face lit by her phone.
I did just Google that.
The Slayer rule obviously does not apply here.
What the hell is the Slayer rule?
It's if someone is convicted of killing the person, they can't get their inheritance.
No, not even convicted. Even if they're just held responsible for their death in a civil court.
Like OJ.
Like OJ, yes. But Harlan committed suicide.
All eyes turned to Blanc, who this whole time has been sitting in a chair by the fire, lost in thought.
Detective Blum, you said the investigation is continuing. You made a point of that. Do you suspect foul play?
Mr. Blanc, if you please. There is much that remains unclear, but yes, I suspect foul play.
The eruption you would expect breaks out.
Marta?
I have eliminated no suspects.
You're full of shit. I don't trust this guy in the tweed suit. And Alan, God bless you, you're useless.
Thank you.
Helen takes that as an excuse to leave.
There's one answer to this. She can renounce the inheritance.
She knows it's what she should do. It's the right thing to do.
We've got to make her do the right thing.
Meg rounds on her mom, speaks quietly, in tears.
Mom, if Granddad wanted Marta to have everything, what he wanted.
No, this was not him. He loved us. He wanted us taken care of. He wanted you to have an education. Meg, you think I can pay for your school?
This leaves Meg shaken. Interior restaurant night. Beer bottles now stacked up in front of Ransom. Marta has just told Ransom everything. He stares into space and makes the slightest hint of a laugh, which I'll write as...
I know, just saying it sounds insane, but it's all true. I think Block's been on to me from the start. I don't care if I go to jail, but my mom, my sister, we can't.
Nothing but silence from Ransom. Maybe he's deep in thought, a strange glint in his eye.
Are you going to say something?
You know, I always thought that I was the only one who could beat Granddad at Go. I always thought that meant something.
I know you did.
At the party that night, my last conversation with him, our last fight, that's what he told me about you, that you beat him almost every time, more than me. I thought, what a strange thing to tell me, right? But I get it now. I think it did mean something. I'm not telling the family shit. You're not going to jail. The detective is not going to catch you. You're not giving up the family fortune. Just think about what Granddad did to see this through, right? This is what he wanted, not just for you, but for his family and for him. And yes, for you, you've come this far, but let me help you go all the way. That's what she said.
Marta looks at him hard.
This isn't you. You could turn me in right now and get your cut of the inheritance. Why?
Because fuck my family. That's why. They don't deserve any of this. I can help you, and we can fool all of them and get away with it. And then you'll give me my cut of the inheritance. Perfect ending. It's all win-win. You, me, and Harlan. Deal?
Silence. Broken by Marta's phone ringing on the phone ID, Meg T. Marta takes a breath, looks at Ransom, and picks it up.
Meg,
Marta, that was nuts.
I know.
Are you okay?
Yeah, are you?
I'm fine. I mean, everyone's nuts. They're all going, I don't know, they've lost it. No one knows I'm calling you. I don't know what I wanted. I wanted to say sorry for how everyone was.
No.
And I guess I wanted to ask, what are you going to do?
What do you mean?
Well, with the will, what are you going to do?
Marta looks at Ransom. What indeed?
What do you think I should do?
You should do what you think is right. I think you should give it back to us. Granddad always took care of us. We're his family, and I know he was like family to you, but we're his actual family. Marta, you know this isn't fair. We've always been good to you, and we're gonna take care of you. Everyone loves you, and you're like family, and we'll take care of you, but you have to make things right, and you know what's right.
Marta keeps keeping eye contact with Ransom. Then, her voice quavering, Meg drops what is for her the big bomb.
Marta, Mom's broke. She says I'm going to have to drop out of school.
No, I won't let that happen. Whatever money you need, Meg, I'll help you. I don't want you to worry.
Interior drawing room night. Meg on the phone, her face horrified, mortified, barely comprehending what she's just heard.
I'll take care of you, I promise.
Thanks.
And once I get the...
Meg hangs up, lets the phone drop from her ear, tears in her eyes. She turns to the whole family gathered behind her, silent and expectant. Interior restaurant night. Marta, realizes the connection's gone dead, holds the phone in her hand like something delicate she just broke.
Okay, then. Did the detective find anything suspicious at the house?
Mud. Tracks upstairs where I broke in through the window.
Ransom winces.
Identifiable prints?
No.
Good. Okay, good. Hey, you've just got to ride out the next few days until the investigation putters out, because it will. Because no matter how sharp that Blanc guy is, he's got nothing. Just relax.
Interior Marta's bedroom, early morning. She wakes up to a sharp rapping at her door. Her sister Alice pokes her head in, flustered.
Marta, get your ass up. What the hell is happening? There's a guy here and a bunch of stuff and everything is going crazy. Are we rich?
Marta lifts her head from her hands.
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't even know what that means, but you better get your ass up.
Marta looks at her phone. 28 missed calls. Interior Cabrera living room. Marta stumbles in. Alice in front of the TV. Mom pacing.
Oh my God, Marta, what is all of this? What did you do?
The TV is turned to a local news. An anchor stands outside their apartment building.
We don't know how much Marta Cabrera or the exact relationship she had to Harlan Thrombey beyond being his home nurse, and the Thrombey family has yet to release a statement.
Is that here?
Oh, yeah, it is. Wait, so is that true? Are we rich?
Marta looks out the blinds. Several local reporters down on the streets with their vans and cameras.
Oh my God.
Exterior Thrombey Estate front drive, day. Wagner's Prowler pulls up. Blanc gets out of the passenger side. Blanc nods to Wagner and the office. And the officer, hey. Interior Great Nana's room. Dim. By an open window stands Great Nana. Blanc enters. Blanc enters. She turns. They look into each other's eyes.
Good morning, Mrs. Thrumby.
A long pause as he thinks of exactly the right words.
Why is grief the provenance of youth? I don't know. But I'd imagine that age deepens all feelings, including grief. This was a long way to offering condolences for the loss of your son, and asking you if it isn't presumptuous of me to not think too harshly of your family, if I am, as I suspect, the first to console you. They're young, aren't they?
Blanc sits.
One thing I do assume with age is weariness. Damned if I don't get more tired every day. Tired of what I do, following ox like lobbed rocks. The inevitability of truth. But the complexity of the gray lies not in the truth, but what you do with the truth once you have it.
Great Nana's eyes move slightly.
I think you have something you want to tell me. I think you're very perceptive and very capable of telling me what you saw the night of your son's party. But I'll happily wait. I'm in no rush. I find it quite pleasant sitting here with you.
He reclines, not particularly looking at her. She looks back at him. Every now and then, a breeze stirs in the window shears. Interior Cabrera living room.
Lawyers were here. Very big lawyers, it looked like. And some other guys I didn't know. They left all of this for you in business cards, so many business cards. And there was a pile of other stuff when I got home.
Mom shovels some official-looking legal letter and courier envelopes into Marta's arms.
Hey, I don't like this.
I don't like it either, Mom. I'm slipping out of the back. I'll be back later. Don't talk to anyone.
Interior apartment building hallway. Dim and dingy, Marta comes out of their apartment door, then, jump startled, at the end of the hall, lurking, is Walt.
Hey.
Walt's eyes are rimmed red. His heavy cane taps.
Hey.
Walt's eyes, oh, that's still, they're not sure what to do, so they're awkwardly hug. Marta still has the same envelope in her hands.
How you doing?
Well, I want you to know, I didn't know about any of this. This is
we all went kind of crazy yesterday.
understandable.
You're still very important to all of us. I want you to know that.
I haven't even looked at all of this yet. This legal stuff, is this from you guys?
Marta flips through the envelopes, squinting.
It isn't from us. Maybe just local lawyers and accountants who saw the news and want to jump on it. I'd be careful of it all.
One envelope sticks out. A blank, plain, letter-sized envelope. No postage, no return address.
Marta, is it your intention to renounce the inheritance?
This is what Harlan wanted.
Well, Harlan has put you in a very hard position. It was unfair of him.
Sorry, I was trying to answer something in the chat. Walt's hand on his cane, gripping tight.
You see, what this kicks up with the press and the scrutiny, and we know with your mother.
With my mother?
Marta's spine straightens.
What did Meg tell you?
This isn't about who. You're missing the point. We're not attacking you with this, Marta. If your mom came here illegally, criminally, if you came into this inheritance with the scrutiny that entails, I'd be afraid that could come to light. That's what we're all trying to avoid here. We can protect you from that happening, or if it happens.
You're saying even if it came to light with the family's resources, you could help me fix it?
Yes. The right lawyers, none of those local guys, but New York lawyers, DC lawyers. Enough resources put towards it, yes. But there's no need it should ever come to that, but yes.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Because Harlan gave me all of your resources. So that means with my resources, I'll be able to fix it. So I guess I'm going to go find the right lawyers.
Marta.
He shuffles towards her. For the first time, she feels a hint of physical threat and backs up quick into her apartment.
You better be sure you want to.
She slams the door. Interior Cabrera kitchen. She slams the door and leans against it, breathing hard, but angry and focused. She dumps the legal envelopes in the trash, but keeps the mysterious envelope, opens it, and pulls out a a half sheet of paper, roughly torn, a photocopy of the header of some sort of medical document. Office of the Chief Medical Examiner. Under that, a photocopy of a tag with her name on it, and handwritten in block letters at the top, I know what you did. Marta's phone buzzes and she jumps. Caller ID, maybe B. Blanc. She hesitates, then sends it voicemail, looks at the mysterious letter in her hands. Interior Ransom's living room. Ransom studies the mysterious letter. Marta pushes aside a stack of New Yorkers and sits on the couch.
Well, I don't know who this is from.
Indicating the tag photocopy with her name.
It's my medical bag tag. They have my medical bag for some reason.
Okay, but this is just a photocopy of the header of a blood toxicology report from a local crime lab. On Harlan, Marta, it would show the morphine overdose.
So I'm screwed. How do you know all this stuff?
I was Harlan's research assistant for a summer.
He sips his morning coffee.
But what kind of blackmail scheme is this? I mean, the actual evidence is sitting up the street in the crime lab. What's the point of sending this to you?
Exterior Norfolk roads. Siren blazing, the cop car speeds into town. Exterior medical examiner's office. The cop car pulls past an identifying sign into the parking lot of a one-story stand-alone building, joining several other cop cars and fire trucks. Journalists kept at bay. The building is a charred brick husk, black smoke and debris. It's been gutted with an explosion and a blazing fire. Blanc steps out of the car and finds Lieutenant Elliot.
What's the cheese?
I'm there. 5 a.m. security systems here were all triggered. Went up quick. Blood stores, records, all gone. No employees around, thank God.
Any surveillance cams?
Elliot gestures wearily to the charred remains of a security camera on the smoked shell of an awning.
And speaking of security, the security tape from the Thrombey residence was scrambled for some reason.
Blanc, unsurprised. He motions back to the building.
What was still pending from the autopsy?
The report on the blood work.
Blood work?
Blanc chews on this. Across the street, Marta and Ransom pull up in her car. Interior Marta's car.
Holy shit, this is insane.
Ransom looks at her. Yeah, it's likely. They both instinctively duck down in case the cops look over.
Who would blow up a whole real official building just to blackmail me?
Marta, this means that the blackmailer has the only paper copy of the thing that can prove your guilt. You didn't get any other instructions? No phone call, no email, no nothing?
Marta looks stunned. She stabs at her phone, quickly swipes.
Nothing. I didn't check my email.
She shows him an email from 092832 at shushmail.com. No subject line, simple text. 1209 Columbus Road, 10 a.m.
Well, that's it. 1209 Columbus Road, 10 a.m.
Marta looks at Ransom, then at the clock on our dashboard, 9:32, then at the charred building. Exterior medical examiner's office. Blanc looks around, deep in thought. He spots Marta's car. Interior Marta's car. Marta peeking up through the window, and Blanc sees her. She sees him. Ducks back down. Shit.
You know what this means, right? If you destroy that copy, you are totally in the clear.
Blanc begins to walk straight towards Marta, quickly and with purpose. Shouts something. Lieutenant Elliot follows.
Marta, did you hear me?
Marta peeks again. Blanc coming at them full speed, 20 paces from the car, closing in fast.
Yeah.
She sits up, throws the car in gear, and floors it. Exterior medical examiner's
Hey.
office. Her subcompact peels out and buzzes off down the road. Blanc, crestfallen, runs back towards the cop's car in the parking lot, shouting at Elliot, who flags a cop. Interior Marta's car. The whine of the engine. Ransom puts on a seatbelt in the rear view. Siren lights as the cop cars pour out of the parking lot in pursuit.
You regret helping me yet?
No, but I regret that we didn't take the Beamer.
Her phone buzzes. Blunt calling. Ignore. Exterior Norfolk roads. Marta buzzing down the road. Cop cars a quarter mile back. Interior cop car. Blanc in the back. Elliot in the front. Trooper Wagner driving. Get to switch back and forth, babe.
Vehicle in pursuit in Washington Street.
No force. Repeat that. Possible murder suspect.
Their speedometer creeping up on 85. They could do, was that Back to the Future? Interior Marta's car. Marta's speedometer creeping up on 55. Is that Sammy Hagar? David
Oh
Lee
my
Roth.
God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
Are you flooring it?
I am literally flooring it.
Her
Dear
phone
God.
rings. Blanc again. She looks over. Cop cars are right alongside them. Blanc holds his phone up, looks at her quizzically, points to the phone.
Well, this is going well.
This is stupid. I'm pulling over.
If you miss your shot to get that tox report, it's all over.
Ugh!
She hits the brakes. Exterior Norfolk roads. Marta's car peels to a stop and two cop cars on either side blaze by, hitting their brakes. She pulls off onto a side street and into narrower side city streets, down narrow alleys, using her small car to nimbly dart through small spaces. The cops can't follow, and she loses them. She pulls to a stop in a secluded little backlot. Interior Marta's car. Marta, breathing hard. Ransom is shocked.
Okay. I'm just all pure adrenaline now. It's like I swallowed bees. What's it called address?
1209 Columbus Road.
Okay. And I just mean whatever they want, I just say yes, right? Just to get back to that report back.
And destroy it.
And destroy it, Ransom. Thank you. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do this without you.
He smiles slightly. A quick moment of silence between them. Then, rap, rap, rap on Ransom's car window. Blanc, standing right outside. Marta looks in her rear view. The cop car has pulled up slightly behind them. Another pulls up in front. Exterior parking lot. Ransom and Marta step out of the car, hands raised for some reason.
That was the dumbest car chase of all time. Put your hands down.
I spoke to Juanetta Thromby, great Nana. The night of the party, she saw someone climb the trellis to the 3rd floor.
Mr. Drysdale, come with us, please.
Elliot leads Ransom off by the elbow. Ransom throws a look back at Marta. He has no idea what's going on.
What's going on?
Ransom came back, she said. I don't know what he came back to do, but we'll find out.
Marta looks at Ransom. Oh no. Senile great Nana thought she was him, but this was a mistake. But she glances at her watch and it's 9:51.
Did he ask you to drive when he saw me coming?
Ransom's being led to the police car. Marta decides.
Yes.
Marta gets back in her car, pretends to take a sip from an empty soda cup, but actually spits up a little into it.
Blanc, coming with us?
I'll drive with Marta.
To Marta's horror, Blanc opens her passenger door.
Surprise, motherfucker. Well, let's go to the police station. I want a full rundown of everything he said to you, and I can catch you up on where we're at.
Exterior Norfolk roads. I hate that word today. Cop cars coast through town. Marta's bringing up the rear. Interior Marta's car. Marta glances at the dashboard clock. 9:55. Blanc, casual.
Strange case from the start. A case with a hole in the middle. A donut. I'm just talking through my process, so let me know if this is boring.
Marta's arms are locked. Her eyes steal a glance at the clock. 9:58.
I feel the noose tightening. The family are truly desperate. Desperate motives, the mystery of who hired me, the impossibility of the crime, and yet.
Up ahead, a street sign. Columbus Road. Marta tenses.
A donut. One central piece, and if it reveals itself, the fog would lift, the arc would resolve, the slinky become unkinked.
Do you mind if I stop for a second? I need to pick something up. It will be very quick.
Oh, sure.
Exterior Norfolk roads. Marta's car makes a sharp turn, leaving the cop caravan. Exterior 1209 Columbus Road. A row of storefronts. 1209 is vacant. Marta's car pulls a few stores past it. She gets out of the car.
I'll just be a few minutes.
I'll wait.
Marta runs into a bustling hair salon. Exterior back alley. Marta ducks out the back door of a salon, goes 2 doors down to 1209 and slips into the back door. Interior 1209 Columbus Road. Dark, empty retail space, lit only by the painted over front windows. Marta edges her way in, her eyes still adjusting from the sun.
Hello?
Her foot hits something on the dirty concrete floor. It's her medical bag. She kneels and picks it up gently, but next to where it was lying, she finds something else curious. The burned remnants of a piece of paper. Only a charred corner remains. She turns her attention back to the room, creeps forward.
Hello?
Ahead, a silhouette, a person seated in a chair in the center of the room, silent and facing her.
Listen, I don't know what you want. Whatever you want, we can work it out, but we have to figure it out right here, right now. And I'm leaving with that report.
A beat of silence. Nothing. Something's not right here.
Hello?
Marta takes a step closer, lifts her phone, and turns on its flashlight, illuminating the ghostly face of Fran, the housekeeper. Marta barely breathing.
Fran?
A spider crawls across Fran's face. Marta stifles a scream and leaps back, sucking in air. A moment of stillness. Her phone buzzes and it's Blanc calling. Marta ignores the call, frozen. Her eyes go to a white letter-sized envelope in Fran's hand, resting on her lap. Marta swallows, leans in, carefully and quietly for some reason, and slips the envelope from the lifeless fingers. Unsealed, she opens it, but it's empty. Before that can even sink in, a rattling, grating draw of breath from Fran. Marta starts, oh my God, and goes to her, checking a pulse, checking her eyes, lays her on her back. Fran sucks in a thin breath, her eyes finding Marta in the glare of the dropped phone flashlight.
Fran, can you hear me? Fran, give me a sign if you can hear me.
You.
Me? Fran, it's Marta. You called me here. You sent me the email. I'm here. I'm going to call an ambulance and you're going to be okay. But can you tell me what happened? Did you take something? What's happened to you?
Weak, Fran grabs Marta's wrist and Marta focuses on her.
Copy.
What?
Stashed.
These words are barely given breath.
You did this. Won't get away with this.
Her eyes seize. Her breath gets ragged. Martha is paralyzed with shock and fear. Fran is dying. Marta looks at her medical bag in her hand, then at Fran, struggling with her final breaths, eyes wide with fear. She takes a step back from the dying Fran, fingers tight around the medical bag, letting her die. But then a decision. No. Marta dials 911 on speaker, drops to her knees, and starts administrating mouth to mouth.
911, what's your emergency?
Exterior 1209 Columbus Road. Blanc sitting in the car, singing softly to himself.
Mamma mia, here I go again. My, how can I forget you now? Mamma mia, does it show again?
He looks at the hair salon. What's taking so long? And then sirens as an ambulance pulls up 2 doors down and EMTs run into the abandoned storefront.
Oh, Lord.
Hard cut to interior hospital waiting room later. Marta and Blanc sitting silently in the fluorescent lit waiting room. Marta with her face in her hands. Blanc is on the phone, mostly listening.
All right, my friend, thank you for the update. No, I'm here with her. No need for that. I'll bring her in once we get word that the housekeeper is stable. Still touch and go. I don't know how I can actually hear you with these headphones on. All right.
He hangs up. Marta looks at him.
This is over. People are getting hurt. I'm going to tell you the truth.
Young Ransom just told Lieutenant Elliot everything. Who just told me everything.
Good. Wait. God, I hope he didn't cover for me. Did he tell the real truth about me switching
Yeah.
in the disguise and all the
Yes.
and the blackmail with the
Mm-hmm.
But why did Fran take my morphine? Obviously, she had swiped my bag from the house, but she didn't seem like a user to me, unless that's why she needed money. I don't know. Doesn't matter. I should tell the Thrombreeze myself. I feel like I owe that to them.
I don't think that's a good idea.
No, I need to do it. I won't do any of this if I can't do that. I really need to. I gave the doctors my number. They'll call if anything changes with Fran.
We'll round up the Thrombys at the house along with the police escort.
For their arrest after?
You can tell me your whole story on the drive over. I want no more surprises.
Marta stands, a dead man walking, resigned. Exterior Norfolk roads. Marta's car drives through the scenic countryside. Inside, we see but don't hear her telling a long story to Blanc, who looks at the passing countryside, brow knit. Exterior Thromby Estate front drive in the afternoon. All the family cars are there, along with 2 police cruisers. Marta's pulls up. Interior Marta's car.
Said it was stashed, the copy, and then she told me, you did this. You won't get away with it. And then I called the ambulance, and that's it.
She turns the engine off, looks up at the house, and breathes.
All right. Are you ready?
Interior foyer. Marta and Blanc enter. This really feels like a walk toward the gallows. Richard, Walt, and Meg are there. Meg avoids eye contact with Marta.
Okay. Has she come to her senses?
She's standing right there, Richard. She can speak for herself.
Is the rest of the family here?
In the living room.
I think maybe if we could.
Blanc beckons and Richard and Walt file out. On her way out, Meg hugs Marta, weeping.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I told him about your mom. I was angry and scared. I'm sorry.
It's okay, Meg. I understand. Believe me, it's all right.
Meg sniffs and dries her eyes. Sorry, that's your line.
God, I am so raining for Stash over this.
They hug one more time, and then when Meg walks off towards the living room, Marta realizes something. Blanc walks back.
I still think this is a bad idea, but the family is assembled.
I know where the tox report is.
Interior drawing room. I don't know why the parts aren't marked. Anyway, Marta jimmies the clock door open with a letter opener. She pulls a folded piece of paper from inside, blows loose pot leaves off of it, and hands it to Blanc.
She practically told me where it was. Anyway, this will tie everything up. I just handed it to you. God, you're not much of a detective, are you?
Well, to be fair, you're a pretty lousy murderer. Perhaps we deserve each other.
Interior living room. The family gathered, impatient. Lieutenant Elliot and Trooper Wagner are there too, with another uniformed officer. Ransom sits in the corner, his face passive. Marta gulps. Blanc is a few steps behind her. As she speaks, he unfolds and reads the tox report.
You guys have always been good to me, and what I'm about to say isn't going to be easy, and you're going to be upset, but especially after everything you've gone through the past few days, I thought you deserved to hear it from me.
Walt smiles at her like, "You're doing the right thing." Marta takes a deep breath. Blanc has finished reading the report and he refolds it carefully.
Excuse me. You have not been good to her. You have all treated her like shit to steal back a fortune that you lost and she deserves. You're like a pack of bloody vultures at the feast, but you're not getting bailed out, not this time. Miss Cabrera has decided definitively not to renounce the inheritance.
What?
Furthermore, it will be my professional recommendation to local authorities that the manner of death in the case of Harlan Thromby is ruled as suicide, and the case is closed.
What? No, Blanc.
Thank you all for coming. Goodbye.
He firmly guides Marta out by the elbow. A beat of silence.
Is anybody else confused?
As the family breaks out in hubbub, Linda notices her dad's old baseball on the side table where Blanc left it. What's that doing here? She picks it up. Interior library. Blanc steers Marta into the library as sounds of hubbub and shouting come from the other room.
What the hell? I want to come clean. This is over.
Almost.
Elliot bursts in, motions to the living room, then Marta, then Blanc.
What?
I'm sorry. Officer Wagner?
Wagner enters.
Please keep the family out of this room and get them out of the house if you can. But stand by with your additional officer.
Get the family out?
Yes, but not all of them.
Blanc whispers something to Wagner, who nods and exits.
Blanc, come on. What's all this drama?
Indulge me.
Marta
I'll tell you
sits.
this whole time, bro.
Elliot remains standing.
Blanc, I told Ransom. Ransom told you. I'm telling you now. It is immovable fact that I killed Harlan.
Yes, you did. Yes, he did. Yes, you are. But I spoke in the car about the hole at the center of this donut. And yes, what you and Harlan did that fateful night seems at first glance to fill that hole perfectly. A donut hole in the donut's hole. But we must look a little closer. And when we do, we see that the donut hole has a hole in its center. It is not a donut hole at all, but a smaller donut with its own hole. And our donut is not whole at all.
Blanc, I understand this is amusing for you.
Why was I hired? Why would someone hire me?
Someone fishing for any crime that could help reverse the will.
I was hired before the sealed will was read. Yes, the person must have known the contents of the will. But one step further, that same person must have known a crime was committed. And further, if the intent was to reverse Marta's inheritance, they must have known that Marta was responsible. An intriguing combination of factors. Someone who knew what Marta did, wanted to expose it, but could not reveal how they knew.
Bran, she was blackmailing me. She knew what I did.
But Fran wanted money, ergo she did not want the crime exposed.
Did someone in the family see Marta doing something suspicious?
They would have had no reason to not speak up. No, the answer is not so simple.
Blanc sits, suddenly weary.
Now, with the entire solution in my field of view, the arc of this case is a tragedy of heirs. And Marta, it will not be easy to hear. But there is at least one truly guilty party behind it all. Guilty in the true sense of acting with malice and committing a heinous crime of selfish intent. Trooper Wagner.
Trooper Wagner?
What? No.
Blanc squints at her. No. A moment later, Wagner leads Ransom in. Ransom looks at Marta softly and sadly.
Marta, I'm sorry. I told them everything. I figured it was all up. I'm sorry.
It's all right, Ransom. I'm glad you did.
Not exactly everything, though.
Is this about what Great Nana told you? She saw me that night. She mistook me for Ransom.
Well, we'll get to that, but first, Mr. Hugh Ransom Drysdale, you might tell us all why you hired me.
Why I hired you?
You're right. Let's back up to the night of the party. Your argument with Holland. What were the overheard words by the Nazi child masturbating in the bathroom? My will, and I'm warning you. You and Holland were drama mamas. You shared a love and twisted the knife into one another. I don't believe he would have slipped it in halfway. No, I submit that Holland told you everything.
Interior small study. Night of the party. Ransom and Harlan face each other.
You can't be serious.
Oh, is Harlan
I'm here. I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I am. I got a dog scuffle.
It's okay.
Not a red. I'm gonna turn. Not a red dime or word of my work to a single of them, you included.
Interior library.
Mata, remind me what Ransom said his conversation with Holland ended with.
Harlan told him that I could beat him and go.
And I asked myself, Mata, why would the topic of the will have steered around to Mata? There's one obvious explanation.
Interior small study. Night of the party.
You are not this crazy. You would not just throw your fortune away.
No, I'm not throwing it away. I'm giving it to Marta. All of it.
To your Brazilian nurse? Are you goddamn insane?
I'm sane for the first time in my life, and I've done it.
Oh.
No, I've made the change to my will. It's done.
I'm warning you.
Push into a vent in the wall. Interior library.
Oh, that's some heavy-duty conjecture there.
Granted, but it's the only way what comes next makes sense. So you storm out, you drive off into the night, you tell Marta later of what was feeling an overwhelming sense of
clarity that he has to make do for himself from here on out.
Exactly.
Exterior Norfolk Roads, night of the party. Ransom's Porsche skids to a stop on the side of the empty road, sits idling.
Marta, the will, Holland, you won't get away with this. Do for yourself. And a plan forms.
A beat. Then the Porsche roars into a skidding U-turn and drives back the way it came. Exterior private road, night of the party. Ransom's Porsche kills its lights and drives slowly down the private road, hooking a left at the carved elephant that marks the utility road.
You return, careful to avoid the gate's security camera range.
Exterior woods, night of the party. The Porsche parked, Ransom hacks his way through the woods.
Then on foot up towards the house.
Exterior Thromby Estate, side a yard, night of the party. The party is still going on inside. Ransom slips through the side gate, up towards the house, and up the trellis.
Sneak in, up the trellis so as not to be seen by the rest of the family who are still having their party downstairs.
Interior third floor landing, night of the party. The painting wall swings aside and Ransom climbs through, leaving mud traces on the sill and the carpet. He heads straight down the narrow hall and into Harlan's bedroom, the party din from downstairs.
What you need to do will take moments, but it is essential you are alone and undetected.
Ransom disappears into the darkened doorway.
You knew the medications Harlan took. You knew that Marta would be responsible for injecting him that night. And you knew that Marta was responsible for his death, even unintentionally. The Slayer rule would nullify the changed will, and you would get your share back.
Interior Harlan's bedroom. Dark and still, Marta's medical bag open. Ransom has unwrapped 2 syringes and has the 2 vials out. The Toradol and the morphine. The good stuff. Using the syringes, he extracts the liquid from both vials and then injects the liquids back into the opposite vials. He switches the medications.
You use the syringes in the kit to switch the liquids in the 2 medication vials. And as a final precaution, you take the naloxone, the life-saving antidote.
Replacing the vials, he takes an injection pen, closes the bag up, and leaves. Interior library. Marta is stunned. She can't even process this.
No, that's impossible.
It is the truth. Well, hand me that vial of morphine, I'll show you.
Blanc has placed 2 identical vials on the table behind Marta. Her mind is still spinning. She glances at them, takes one, and absently hands it to him.
If he did that, if the meds were switched, then when I got them mixed up, oh my God, I accidentally switched them back. But then I gave Harlan
the correct doses. Yes, but not accidentally. I taped over the labels of those 2 vials.
Blanc shows white tape over the one she just handed him, picks up the other vial, and shows the same.
The vials themselves are identical, and you know that this was the morphine.
I just knew.
You knew because there's the slightest, almost imperceptible difference of tincture and viscosity between the liquids. You knew because you had done it 100 times. You gave him the correct medication because you are a good nurse.
Then Harlan was...
I'm sorry, Marta, but yes, Harlan was perfectly fine.
He unfolds the tox report and hands it to her.
His blood was normal. The cause of death was truly, solely suicide, and you are guilty of nothing but some damage to the trellis and a few amateur theatrics. In fact, if he had listened to you, he would be alive today.
Marta is white as a ghost. She shudders and buckles over.
Ah, damn.
A twisted web, and we are not finished untangling it. Not yet. Marta, when Great Nana spotted you climbing down the trellis, she said...
Exterior Thrombey Estates side yard, night of the party. Marta facing Great Nana, who says...
Handsome, are you back again already with my surprise nut cake?
Are you back again already? Because earlier that night...
Oh my God, the implications of the... Okay, anyway, cut to the exact same scene, but Ransom hops down off the trellis and is startled by Great Nana staring at him.
Handsome, come back.
He puts his finger to his lips, shh, and blows a kiss as he walks off into the night. Interior library. Marta with her fingers on her temples, still unbelieving.
Marta, come on. This is stupid with 2 O's and you don't have a shred of evidence. You're just spinning a fairy tale.
Not a shred, no, just as we have no real proof of Marta's mixing up the vials, so it's your word against.
You have her confession.
The sharpness of this makes Marta look at Ransom for the first time.
All right, we do have that. If you'll indulge me, I'd like to spin a little further.
Exterior Thrombey Estate side yard, night of the party flashback. Moonlit and silent.
Much later that night, you would have to come back to the house to break back in and retrieve the incriminating tampered vials.
A dark figure, Ransom, approaches the side gate, but when he opens it, the 2 dogs come bounding across the yard, barking loudly.
However, this time the dogs were outside. They barked, waking Meg.
A light goes on upstairs. The dogs keep barking, paws on the gate. Ransom backs off.
No matter. You'll get the vials tomorrow.
Interior library.
But tomorrow brings news not of a medical error and guilty nurse, but of a slit throat and suicide?
Interior Ransom's apartment, living room day. A nervous Ransom tears a clipping from a local newspaper about Harlan's death, stuffs it in an envelope and a huge fold of cash, and addresses it to Blanc. The New Yorker profile open to the couch.
Now the circumstances are perfect for the anonymous hiring of a me. You know a crime has been committed by Mata. You need her to be caught for it. You cannot reveal how you know.
Interior library.
Enter Benoit Blanc.
Elliot can't help but roll his eyes.
Benny, look, I hear what you're saying.
Trooper Wagner quickly shushes Elliot, enthralled by every word Blanc says.
Yeah.
The body was discovered early the next morning. The police, the medical examiners, the family, everyone swarms in, and there is no possible way you can get to Marta's medical bag to remove the vials. You must wait for your moment when the investigation is over, and you know the house will be empty. And that is why you missed the funeral.
Interior, third floor landing, afternoon flashback. Ransom bounds up the stairs, climbs under the police tape blocking Harlan's study, and enters.
There is no one home to wonder why you're going into Harlan's study, or so you think. Fran comes around the corner, spots Ransom, and is about to say something, but doesn't. Poor Fran, she witnessed you tampering with Harlan's medication in the medical bag. She did not know what you were doing, but she knew you were up to no good. So her mind begins to turn.
Ransom pockets the 2 incriminating vials from the medical bag and replaces the naloxone pen. When he stands to go, she retreats. Interior library.
Oh God, that movie she told me about with Danica McKellar. That's what she was talking about.
Deadly by surprise.
She loved Tyler. She hates Ransom. So the poor girl decides to test her theory and make this asshole pay. She gets a copy of the toxicology report, and I will be honest, I have no idea how.
She has a cousin. She told me she has a cousin who works as a receptionist at the examiner's office.
Well, voila! The numbers mean nothing to her, but if Ransom is guilty, its existence is a threat. So she photocopies the header and makes a blackmail note.
So why did she send it to me?
She did not. She sent it to Ransom.
Interior Ransom's living room, day flashback. Ransom walks in, sorting mail, finds the blank envelope, reads the blackmail note inside, and slowly grins.
And when Ransom first gets it, what is his reaction? Elation. He still thinks Mata gave Harlan the tampered drugs. A blood tox report will prove Mata's guilt.
Interior library, day flashback. The will reading, the family assembled, Ransom sits back, a sly smile on his face as the will is read.
He goes to the will reading in high spirits, ready to see the family tear themselves apart, secure in the knowledge it will all be undone when the tox report comes to light. And then...
Interior restaurant night, flashback. Beer stacked up, Marta has just confessed, Ransom's face is unreadable.
Mata's confession, and everything turns on its head. Now he realizes that Mata has committed no crime. The tox report will prove her innocence. The change will is going to stand. He has lost. Unless...
Interior library. Blanc rounds on Ransom.
Unless you decide.
Interior restaurant night, flashback. Ransom giving Marta his pep talk.
You're not going to give up the money.
Interior library.
You are not going to give up the money?
Interior restaurant night, flashback.
You've come this far.
Interior library.
You've come this far. Just one step further. Just one last act, in for a penny, in for a pound. You decide you are in.
Close on, a lighter ignites a rag stuffed in a tin gas can. The can being thrown through a window into a brick wall. Interior medical examiner office morgue, flashback. Empty, dark. The flaming can falls into slow motion from high window, hits the floor and ignites.
Step one, destroy all evidence of Mata's innocence.
The flames dance in the reflection of the glass case of refrigerated blood samples.
Step two.
Interior Ransom's apartment living room, day/night. Close up on blackmail note at the bottom is written 1209 Columbus Road, 8 a.m. A hand tears this bottom part off and then puts the top half in an envelope. I think they meant 10 a.m., but we'll keep going.
Send Marta the anonymous email with the late morning rendezvous time.
Close on an email address to Marta being typed on a phone address 1209 Columbus Road, 10 a.m. Interior apartment, back hallway, night, flashback. Ransom creeps down the hall, slips the envelope into a letter slot on Marta's door.
And deliver her the blackmail note.
Exterior, 1209 Columbus Road, morning, flashback. Ransom's Porsche pulls up. He gets out, pulling on gloves.
Step 3, keep your appointment with Fran.
Oh, I see what's happening. Okay. Interior, 1209 Columbus Road, 8 a.m. I'm blaming COVID. Stop, Drew. Fran's standing in the middle of the room, nervous. She turns as Ransom walks in and strides towards her.
I knew it. I knew you were a no good son of a bitch. I knew Harlan wouldn't have just killed himself.
Yeah, you were right, Fran.
Ransom sees the medical bag on the floor, kneels, and pulls something out of it.
I knew you were guilty as shit. Now you're gonna pay for it. Don't come near me. I'm warning you.
But he's upon her, hand over her mouth, stifling her scream as he pushes the syringe into her neck and pushes the plunger. Minutes later, her inert body in the chair, he fishes through her pockets, finds the envelope, and takes the tox report back from it, leaving the empty envelope in her hands. On his way out, lights the tox report on fire, drops it burning next to Marta's bag, and we stay with it as it burns away.
Now the board is set. Marta will get the blackmail notes. You will put the pieces together for her, the toxic pearl, her one chance at getting away with it all. You'll guide her to the rendezvous. You'll make an anonymous call to the police. They will catch her there with the body and the burned evidence. Marta will be arrested for killing Fran and Harlan.
Interior library.
He said,
Interior 1209 Columbus Road flashback. Marta holding Fran on the floor, her dying words.
You did this.
Interior library.
she didn't say you did this. She was talking about me, she said.
Interior 1209 Columbus Road flashback. Exact same moment, but this time we hear
You did this.
interior library.
Hugh did this because you made the help call, you Hugh. Cause you're an asshole.
It would have worked if we hadn't brought you in for questioning so you could not make your anonymous call, and if Fran had not stashed a safety copy of the tox report.
Interior 1209 Columbus Road flashback. Marta turns away from the dying Fran.
And if Marta had not outplayed you once again.
Marta turns back, calls 911, gives mouth-to-mouth to Fran.
By having a kind heart, by saving Fran's life, though it meant her losing the inheritance and going to jail, she didn't play your game. She saved Fran's life.
Interior library. For the first time, Ransom looks afraid.
Fran's alive?
Marta's phone starts to ring. They all see the caller ID. It's the hospital.
Oh, yes, Fran, who will confirm this fairy story or something close to it, and will send you, Hugh, to jail.
She answers the call, puts the phone up to her ear.
Yes.
A long beat, then her face breaks in relief.
Yes. Thank you, doctor. That's great news. We'll be there soon.
She hangs up and smiles with radiant joy.
She's okay. She's ready to talk.
Ransom stares at Marta, his face a mask.
Cooper Wagner, if you'll keep Mr. Drysdale in custody, while Lieutenant Elliott, Ms. Cabrera, and myself go to the hospital, take Fran's statement.
Ransom stands, steps up to Marta, who's frozen, looking in his eyes. His poker face breaks and he grins.
I want to say this, just to you, not a courtroom of cameras, just to you, because you know it's the truth. We allowed you into our home. We allowed you to take care of Granddad, to be part of our family. And now you think you can steal it from us? You think I'm not going to fight for our birthright, our home, our ancestral family home?
Harlan bought this house in the 80s from a Pakistani real estate baron.
Oh, shut up, Blanc. Shut up. Shut up with that Kentucky Fried foghorn, raghorn drawl. Yeah, I killed Fran, but I guess I didn't. So what do you have on me? Nothing. What? Attempted murder? I get arson for the bombing, maybe a few other charges. With a good lawyer, I'm out before you know it.
Face to face, Ransom's face hateful, Marta's strong and set.
And then you'll see just how much hell I can wreak on your life, you vicious little bitch.
And then Marta's face starts to do things, odd things. Convulses, her jaw clenches, her cheeks bulge, and then projectile vomits in Ransom's face.
Thanks. Ah, what the shit?
He falls back cursing. She drops to her knees, spitting. Wagner, inappropriately excited.
That means she was lying.
That's right. Fran's dead, and you just confessed to her murder.
Ransom takes this in, and then he smirks.
Well, in for a penny.
In one fluid motion, he spins to the ornamental wall of knives, grabs one.
Oh, don't do that.
And tackles Marta. Time slows as Blanc and Elliot lunge to stop him, but it's too late. Ransom and Marta fall together, his arm arching down, and as they hit the ground, his arm goes down, plunging the knife deep to the hilt in her chest. They lie still, breathing hard, her eyes wide with pain and horror. Sorry, I couldn't hold it in. His cold and wild. But then she blinks, squints, and he cocks his head, realizing something. Withdraws the knife from her chest. Its fake blade had retracted into the handle. It's a theatrical prop. He pumps it up and down a few times, then the spring making a pathetic toy noise. Ransom smirks.
Shit.
And is violently tackled out of frame by Trooper Wagner. So beat yourself up, Drew. Leaving Marta laying on her back. Blanc shouting if she's all right. Blanc asking if she's all right. Elliot and Wagner wrestling Ransom into cuffs. It all fades into the background as she holds the knife and stares at the ceiling. Interior small study, close on Harlan's old baseball being set carefully back into place by Linda. She's about to leave, but she notices the pink envelope on the desk, picks it up, takes out the blank note, seems to recognize it, and smiles sadly. Exterior Thrombey Estate, front drive later. Linda comes outside and joins the family. Several more police cars, an ambulance. Ransom is loaded into the cop car. His family are held at bay by officers, but they all react in different ways. Richard yelling at the cops, Walt sobbing, Donna collapsed against him, Jacob on his phone, Joni staring into space, ruined, Meg talking to Lieutenant Elliot, crying. She's just learned about Fran. Linda watches the circus, strangely disconnected, going to light a cigarette. With a strange smirk, she uses the flame to warm the back of a note from the office. And the hidden writing starts to appear. A note from her father, their secret communication. As the letters appear, her face changes. Interior living room. Marta sits, a blanket over her shoulders. An officer who's just taken her statement walks away. Blanc approaches.
Can I ask, at what point did you suspect I had something to do with Harlan's death?
From the moment you first set foot in front of me.
Taps her shoe, the tiny faded spot of blood.
Oh my God.
I want you to remember something very important. You are not by playing the game Harlan's way, but yours.
Through the window, she sees the family outside.
I should help them, right?
I have my own opinion, but I have a feeling you'll follow your heart.
He gives her a wink and strolls off. Interior foyer later, Marta shuffles to the front doorway, one last glance at Harlan's portrait, its grin now gentle and content. Exterior front porch balcony, she stands on the threshold, sees Blanc get into the front door of a cruiser and drives off. Ransom in the back. He looks back at her through the window. The family out on the lawn, not sure where to go or what to do. They all turn to see Marta, standing very small, but somehow not, in the doorway of her house. The end.
The end. Oh my God, everybody was amazing. I think we all have favorite parts, but definitely Luke as Benoit Blanc. Chef's kiss. Bravo.
My favorite part was Paul realizing that he fell asleep before the movie. So for the last third of the script, he was like, I have no idea what's happening.
He fell asleep before the movie?
So when we were watching the movie, he fell asleep before it ended.
Oh, okay.
Oh God.
So he didn't know that I was the killer.
He's like, what happens now? Dad.
What's happening? And I'm sitting here like, oh God, that's right. He doesn't know.
That's hilarious. Paul,
You in the room.
Paul, you were amazing and lovely. Thank you for joining us. I can't wait to meet you.
You too.
In the flesh. Dad, great Nana, bravo. To all of our fur babies that made their cameos, bravo. Hold on, I'm scrolling to the top of the script so I can get everyone's characters right. But thank you guys for joining us for Knives Out. While I'm scrolling to the top of this script, we do have a Christmas reading coming up. I think we're still deciding what script we're going to do, but we do have a Christmas reading coming up with another amazing charity. So make sure you look out for that. Look at that, Drew, and for the win. So again, our charity tonight is the Cahokia, thank you guys, Mounds, and you can go to cahokiamounds.org to support. Please make sure you're donating, and we are supporting Indigenous people during this time of Thanksgiving, or first feast of Christmas, as I like to call it. So tonight, let's start with Ginger, our narrator. Bravo. Thank you so much for powering through. We love you.
Mishmash mouth.
Luke, Benoit Blanc. Yay, bravo. Raya as Marta. Thank you for joining us again. It was so good to see you. Drew, the perfect Ransom, and Walt. It's literally like two mishmash characters in your personality. I loved it. Let's see. Oh, and Trooper. Yeah. Me. I played Linda, which is literally just me in business meetings with shitty men. Just channeling that. Let's see. Sean, Dad. Bravo. Playing my husband. Richard and Great Nana. Bravo for that as well. Let's see. Paul, our newest cast member. Thank you. Walt, playing Walt, and Mr. Pro. I'm so blind. I'm so old, you guys. Pro Frock. Robert is in bed now. He has to be at the hospital in a few hours. But he wanted me to tell you guys he had so much fun. He said he didn't realize how much fun it was. And thank you guys for welcoming him into that. Kenna, does that say Kenna? Okay, Kenna, yay! Oh, hi, Kenna. Playing Meg and Alice, and Donna and Danny as Harlan, and we also had a cameo from Danny's puppies. Oh, there, there they are, and Dan as Lieutenant Elliot. Perfect. Luke and Danny. Bravo. Thank you guys so much for joining us again for Not Ready for Quarantine Players, and we will see you in December. Okay? Love you all. Good night.